Think this podcast is about ghosts, or maybe even about aliens. No. But you'd be wrong. So wrong. When four guys take shit talk to the next level, sensibilities will be offended, snowflakes will melt, and intellectual hymens may be broken. No more talking bullshit. Let's talk Supernatural Dogshit. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Not suitable for children or people with heart conditions. The Supernatural Dogshit Podcast. The Supernatural Dogshit Podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening, one. Good evening, all, and welcome to the Supernatural Dogshit Podcast, live for this Tuesday evening after Christmas. Hello, guys. How's all?
Hello.
How are you? We also, I have to say, we have great news that you missed out on when you were in the toilet.
What did I miss out on?
You missed out on the joining of a new member who has said that he will do every Tuesday and Thursday. The latest member of the Supernatural Dogshit Podcast, Mr. Pierce Fox.
Yay! Woo! Thanks very much. Delighted.
So he's going to be here full time?
Absolutely fucking delighted.
I'm delighted.
So am I.
He's the missing link.
The weakest link.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say at this stage, I'm now the fucking weakest link with you.
No, it's
bastards.
definitely me, man. It's definitely me.
We're all amazing. Fuck off.
Oh, yeah, we're all awesome. So, welcome to the show. I didn't think tonight was going to happen, lads.
No, neither did I. I was kind of hoping we'd just push it to Wednesdays until we have the new studio up.
Wasn't there something about Wednesdays in that last?
There was, but see,
what's the crack of that? 8 o'clock as well? Like
unfortunately, that was an old thing that JJ had done for us. He tried to fix it this evening, couldn't fix it, but I thought I'd play it for him anyway because he put so much effort into it.
It is badass.
It is
I really like it.
Yeah. So when that is fixed, we'll play that at the start of the show.
Yeah.
And then our usual, diddly, what's going on now? That stuff. Hi, all.
Hello. How's everybody?
As usual in the studio, with me we have Miss Megan Quinlan.
Oh, hi.
Is it Miss or Mrs.? I've never understood the
Miss. Mrs. if you're married. Ms. if you're not.
Ms. if you're not.
Ms. if it's your maiden,
Quinlan.
if it's your
Thank
own
you.
name, and then Mrs. if you got that name through marriage.
And also we have Mr. Richard Quinlan.
Yes, sir. I'm right here, right in front of you.
Mr. Pierce Fox.
Well,
That was it. Well, boys.
That's why we like him.
So,
And Mr. Aiden, I can't fucking get up earlier than 5 o'clock dial.
what can I say?
living the dream.
Well, I'm lying on a couch. I'm lying there thinking, what's the point?
I don't know.
What's the point in being productive?
I'm on the go since
Life.
7.
Yeah,
Here,
but
guys.
you're a
comment
married
from
man.
Teresa. I hope everyone had a great Christmas.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Teresa.
Teresa.
We hope
Thank
you did too.
Teresa. Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So over to our
Hope
social.
everybody did, man.
Over to our Jamie 2.0 for our social media stuff. Now, no pressure.
Oh, you can get us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, Podbean after the show, and we give you our cue for the social QR. Richie.
Oh, yeah, social QR at XYZ, all your social media in one handy QR code. If you listen in through the ads, you'll hear a dedicated ad. to
Yes,
social QR
rather
at
than
XYZ.
Richie having to do it all the fucking time.
Yes.
We do have a new sponsor as well, but they're not on board as yet.
It's
Shout out
coffee.
JJ. Woo.
Yeah. So
It's a coffee company from Northern Ireland.
it is what's the name of them again? I forget our own sponsor.
Milltown Coffee and
Newtown Coffee, very
Oh,
good. Thank
Newtown.
you very
I
much.
said
Newtown.
Milltown.
No, Newtown
Newtown
Coffee.
Coffee.
Which is Mr. Ross Brunton, is that his name?
Yeah, but it's a different Ross Brunton than the one everybody knows here in town.
So there's two Ross Bruntons?
Yes.
You want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
There's two Aiden Doyles, spelled the exact same way. My name is spelled Aiden.
Yeah.
Who were both born on the 8th of the 2nd, 1981, in the exact same hospital in the ward across from each other.
Did you get swapped?
Ooh, is Daddy busy?
But, no. Do you know how I found this out?
How?
When I joined the army.
All right.
Yeah, so
were they in it as well?
I went to do the physical,
The assessment, yeah.
the assessment, and I swear to God, it was the funniest thing in the world. They brought us down to the Phoenix Park, and you're made run a mile under so
Mile
many
and a
minutes.
half, under 11 and a half minutes.
And Fatboy Slim here was like, not a hope can I do this. Have you ever heard the Tommy Tiernan story where he threw himself into a ditch? I swear on my children's lives, I threw myself across and made it look like I had an injury that I couldn't do because I just couldn't fucking breathe.
Yeah.
Little did I know, of course, asthmatic and heavy smoker and years of lung disease, so it kind of fucks you up. But I failed it, so I shouldn't have got into the army.
But the other Aiden Doyle passed.
The other Aiden Doyle passed. I got a phone call the day before I was to go back to school.
Yeah.
I was still in school. And they said to me, yeah, you were accepted in, report into the barracks tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I was like, oh, okay. It turned out that he got in, I didn't.
And they mixed it up.
They mixed it up. But they had brought then both of us in and we both met each other. So I met my counterpart.
Ah, jizz.
So
How was that?
It was weird because we don't look anything alike.
Oh, Asian. It'd be
Nothing
amazing
alike.
if you were just strikingly similar.
It would have been. But it was, it's weird that I got into the army under that
Yeah.
yeah.
strange.
And like they never kind of went, which one's the good runner?
They did. They figured yeah, they did. They figured out I was the terrible runner.
Okay.
Shout out to Daniela, she's here, man.
Good evening, Miss Lindley.
Daniela.
I was over chatting away to her earlier. Got a burger.
Did you get a free burger?
No. I paid for
Daniela
it.
Lindsay, how dare
No, I
you?
made sure to pay for it.
Oh, so you offered.
No, I just
Is it just
being
me?
decent and not taking fucking advantage of people who are friends of the show.
Is it just me? Or has the temperature in here risen?
slightly.
Yeah,
It
the
has,
heater's
hasn't it?
working.
I keep in this jacket and hat on though till the second half.
Yeah, I can now start feeling the temperature going up.
Thank fuck. It's
Yeah,
so
I know,
cold.
it's so damn cold. And that hole in the wall, look at how I have it stuffed.
It's off camera, guys.
Yeah.
So, Megan, did you bother your ass to get any of your weird headlines from around the world?
Oh, can you give me a minute to get it ready?
Okay, off you go,
Sorry,
off you
yeah.
go, Megan. Megan's going to do
Mr.
her...
Doyle, did
Yes.
anything interesting happen to you since
Well,
the last show?
before we do that, we should actually go around and do that. I'll go to you first while Megan is doing her research. Did anything interesting happen to you?
Murdered Christmas this evening. It was the best feeling ever.
You did.
Started around 3 o'clock. I was about half an hour into it, had all the trees down, everything, house upside down. Called from Mr. Harris. Let's go and help move a washing machine. I was just, and then
Where was I?
I don't know. You were asleep.
At what time?
This is 3 o'clock. Yeah, anyway, we moved
Okay.
that shit, came
No,
home.
I'm trying to remember, did I hear you coming in?
No, I wasn't in your house at all. I just rocked up,
Oh, okay. Right.
expert. But listen, god damn it, it was so good to get rid of Christmas, clean the house and be like,
But
You
the-
wouldn't
no more
even leave it till
bastard
New
cats.
Year's, like.
No more bastard cats jumping out of Christmas trees, pulling at the decorations, and
but the house always looks so bare after Christmas.
it's amazing. I love it.
Empty.
Oh, I love empty.
It's like a fresh start, like.
No, oh, it's
I
just
love it, yeah. It's like a deep clean after.
back to the way it should be.
yeah.
And then a whole heap of stuff arrived because the wife's on a mission again. So we're doing up the girls' room next. I can't wait to do that. About 3 days of work ahead of me there.
Is she spending on Amazon?
No, IKEA.
Okay. So you have to put all this shit together.
Yeah, but first I have to like strip wallpaper, paint the walls, skirting, paneling,
The fucking
furniture.
effort in all of that.
I love it. I love it.
You really enjoy that
I
stuff?
really enjoy it.
Is that because you get to not be responsible daddy for the,
Yeah, you just kind of put the head
being
down and get
man.
the job done. Because when we grew up, Dad was always doing DIY and I always got roped into it. But it's a great feeling. I love
But do you
starting
include,
finishing
do
things.
you include your kids in it?
Sometimes. The last time I included the kids,
It went wrong.
I just gave Lily the cordless drill and I was like, here you go, and I showed her how to screw
Oh,
stuff.
you fucking moron.
She walked off. Just started unscrewing unscrewed the front door handle, unscrewed all the door hinges from around the house, and then just started screwing and unscrewing loads of shit. And I just thought it was hilarious.
And what age is Lily?
Lily's 7.
It's Lily, he gave a drill to a 7-year-old.
I
What?
know.
Yeah, it's about
Cordless.
time, like.
What did you expect?
Expected her to stand there and hold it like I would have when I was a kid.
No,
Kids have changed, man.
There's plenty of
Kids have
stories of me though, like helping my dad like change a tire, and I rammed a screwdriver through the radiator of the car.
Lovely.
Another time he was in working under the car and I handed him in the jack. Would you wind your feet with the cables?
I am, I did mind it.
And handed him in the jack and he went white. Because he'd put bricks under the wheels just in case the jack didn't work.
Oh, fuck.
And I handed him in the jack.
Yeah, I have a similar story to that. It's not similar. But years ago, I was about 10 years of age, and me and my brother, we were a 2-car family. So my mother had a car, my father had a car. And they had gone out somewhere. My sister was left in charge of us. So I was like 10 at the time. My brother decided to get into the car and it was parked right outside the house, pointing towards the house. And he gets the keys and puts them in the ignition. And I'm down on the floor going, and what do I do down here? And he turns the key and it jumps because it was in gear. Straight through the door of the house, through the porch, through the door, destroyed the whole fucking thing.
House and car fuck like.
We're like, oh shit, what do we do?
Run.
We got a stone and we put it inside the porch and said somebody broke the window. As if they would ever. Now, they knew exactly what happened, but they never fucking killed us.
Weird. Isn't it weird, like, you get better out your childhood for all these little things and you do something huge and you think it's the end of your
nothing.
And they do nothing.
They're not able to cope. There's just certain things that just break the adult's brain and they're not able to process how fucked up it is.
But, I mean, 2 little assholes driving a car through their house.
Yeah.
But we were cunts when we were kids.
Yeah, you're still a cunt now.
Oh, assholes. I'm trying to think, there was another... the very first time I got drunk.
Oh yeah, go on.
The very first time I got drunk, I was 11 years of age. And I found cans of Ritz.
Blame it on the Ritz.
Can you hear that? Yeah. No.
Comment from Ed. Look, everybody, the record's broke. And they're repeating themselves again. Why does that sound dodge, man? There we go.
Who said that?
Ed.
Mr. Harris.
Oh, sure, look, it's very easy to make a comment when you're home. Come in and
He also
meld
said
minds.
Aiden was asleep. We have a washing machine though, so that helps. And me on the wee tour, our tree down after dinner. Thanks again, Richie.
So, I was 10 or 11 years of age. Found some Ritz. My mother and father used to have a New Year's Eve party every year. Big party. So me and my brother got up at about 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. We got under the Christmas tree and drank Ritz to the point where I got alcohol poisoning.
Oh, nice.
Jesus.
And I literally had to be brought to a
That
hospital.
was Spirit, wasn't it?
No,
No,
it was
no,
a
it's
pear
a-
cider.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Yeah, and it tastes delish. But as a child, you're just going to go...
Yeah,
so I ended up
it's like
with
lemonade.
alcohol poisoning. They never laid a finger on me. I was
They're
expecting to
worried
get
sick,
bet.
like.
You were
They're worried
already-
sick.
Absolutely. But as a child, you were going, oh shit, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Fox, anything interesting happened to you?
No, to be honest, I've been living very fucking quiet. Like,
You boring bastard.
yeah, I know. I've been working on an art project though, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that soon.
You
This
did.
the projector thing.
Yeah, I'm building a new screen for it, like, so it's like a tree of life inside a giant heart, and I just want to put some like other patterns around it to make it a bit better. finished.
Nice.
Very in touch with his feelings, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's a sensitive...
I like that.
Would you say you're a sensitive guy, or...
No, I couldn't give a shit, like.
Like, if somebody, a randomer, called you a name on the street, would you get angry at them, or would you just go,
No.
yeah, fuck you?
That's their own baggage, man. I couldn't give a two fucks.
Yeah, I'm that type as well. I laugh when people call me names. It really pisses them off.
I don't know. I just kind of look at them.
Like, if they're funny, I'm probably going to laugh along with it, like.
I do like when somebody's clever with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, most people that call me names are my friends. You seen me the way I look. People who don't know me don't engage me.
Why?
Because they think I'm a big foreign dude.
Scary Polish guy?
Yeah.
When
And
you
I
do-
open my mouth, they're like, oh, what? You're Irish?
Yeah, I've been mistaken for Polish as well.
Well, I have never been mistaken for anything but me.
Yeah.
Fat old bastard.
Because you're a potato.
So, Mrs. Quinlan. Miss Quinlan, we went through this already.
Yeah.
Anything interesting happened to you over the Christmas?
No, it was just super chill.
Santa not
Was
come
I-
and give you any
I
special
got
presents?
really cool presents, yeah.
Okay, like?
A really long hot water bottle, for one. A really long hot water bottle.
That isn't it amazing? If you were given that as a child, a hot water bottle,
child.
You're
Yeah.
fuck off.
you go fuck off with your hot water bottle. Now it's like, oh, that's awesome, that'll do.
It's lovely, yeah.
I got a ton of clothes.
I got a ton of clothes and I was
Nice.
delighted. I got an Adidas
so
tracksuit.
happy.
Got an Adidas tracksuit and it
Proper
just...
little tree stripe with the flower.
Yeah, little grey hoodie.
Oh, this is the one you were wearing the other day.
Yes.
And you look like Scumbag Steve.
I look so foreign in it. It's amazing.
You did.
Love
You look like a Russian gymnast instructor.
it. Yeah.
That's what you look like.
You will do
You just
flip.
need the profile picture now, just squatting with your heels down, like.
I got one in Ed's, when I called over to Ed's kitchen, he had Adidas runners on, so we
Yeah.
swapped runners. I got a bottle of vodka, squatted in the middle of the kitchen table. It was bang on. Bang on.
So, Miss Quinlan, have you got your headlines? Or are you?
Oh, I have one ready.
Okay, so off you go.
Okay. Hardcore guitarist stops baby abduction in New York City using jiu-jitsu.
Ooh. Okay. No, I'm okay.
Hardcore guitarist, as in he plays in a hardcore band.
He was in the band Outbreak and Gravemaker.
I heard of Gravemaker, never heard of Outbreak.
So what happened?
So,
Close to the mic.
sorry.
In you go. There you go.
This fella Kentley who stopped the abduction, he's a Muay Thai instructor. He approached the scene and noticed 2 other men coming to the defense of the woman. You know, they're trying to take the child from this woman.
Okay.
After the man escalated the situation, Kentley calmly put the man in the rear naked choke and then kept him there for 15 minutes until security were able to detain the man. Like,
Isn't it amazing that these days, you've said this to me before, that a lot of people, rather than intervene in a bad situation, what they will do is they will take out their mobile phone and just record
I'm just
it.
reading here, a bystander captured footage of the incident where you can see below, if you want to see that.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
There's someone quicker to do this rather than to go and help the actual
Exactly.
situation.
But just before, no, it wasn't just before Christmas, it was maybe the summer. Do you remember the car went on fire outside Millie's?
Oh yeah. Well, near it, like, across the road from it.
Across the road from Millie's. I was on the phone to you talking about it a couple of months ago.
Oh. Anyway.
And I had said, you know, what it took the fire brigade ages to get there. I was like, because the fire station's not
Traffic
too far
in town,
away.
man.
No, it wasn't
The
at
new
all.
lights, hardly.
It wasn't that at all. What happened was somebody, everybody was recording it, and
nobody was ringing
assumed that somebody else had rang the fire brigade.
Somebody else's problem, like.
Nobody rang the fire brigade for at least 10 minutes.
It keeps happening.
Like, how fucking retarded
Because everybody's
is that?
assuming everybody else is doing it. Because the more people that are around and something happening, the less likely anybody else is to intervene.
Absolutely.
Oh, shit. What's that?
It's Megan on the laptop.
All right.
Just something happened.
I thought that was me. I rolled over something there. There's something not right under my feet
There's a
here.
cable there.
Yeah, it's wrapped up under something, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
right
well
under the
wrapped
wheel.
around that chair. And it's an important cable.
We're sorted.
But yeah, no, it's just any situation. Like, it's like where they teach prostitutes in, was it Norway? In the Netherlands to scream fire instead
of rape, yeah. Actually, my mother used to tell that to my sisters. If anybody attacks you, scream fire rather than rape, because people will come out to a fire. But it seems now these days that
Well, they
has
just rock
changed.
up and just start filming. Like that Black Mirror episode.
Even, actually, yeah, there was a video on Facebook of an 80-something-year-old woman being raped, or an attempted rape, by this guy. He was in his 40s, and he was punching the head off her. And you could hear her scream. So this guy got out his camera, and he's running down. But as he's defending the woman and pulling this rapist off her, he's still videoing the whole thing.
Better off bashing your man over the head with the phone, like.
I'd have rammed the phone so far up his fucking arse. See how he feels. Yeah. Like, what a piece of shit. But when the old woman stood up, my heart broke for her. Like, 'cause she was like, really
senseless,
fucking old.
yeah.
She had blood coming from her. Her clothes were torn off her.
Where's the
Humanity?
No, but where's the attraction to raping an 8-year-old woman? Like,
Where's the attraction to rape? Why would you want to have sex with someone?
I can understand as a primal directive. Yeah, maybe it's still encoded in people to do it. But
Have you
an
ever had-
8-year-old woman?
Have you ever had sex with somebody? Have you ever been in a stale relationship?
No.
No, fuck you, sir. Have you ever been in a stale relationship?
No.
Where the sex goes stale and you're like, meh.
No.
And it becomes a chore more. Well,
I'm not married long enough.
How long are you in a relationship?
Oh,
I'm in a relationship about 10 years this year, but
Yeah,
only
so
married a year.
I was 13 years. And after 13 years,
So you
it was
just got the
shit.
freshener up there with the marriage, like, you know, it was all kind of just trotting along, and then fresh bang bang new.
Yeah, but see, my thing is, sex for me goes stale pretty quickly.
Maybe you're shy.
I know, I have been told this, yes. I'm a very selfish lover.
Oh.
I couldn't give a shit.
You get
about
your
the
bit
other
and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, then you're not really advertising yourself well.
Why would I- Why would I want to do that?
So you can get more.
Look how much effort you put into the show, into the studio, into
Yes.
everything about it.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't put that into another person.
But here's the thing. I can go home. I don't have to chat up my hand. I don't have to tell it I love it. I don't have to pay it bills. Nor
you
do I
even
ever have to divorce it.
Do you even treat yourself to a bit of hand moisturizer every now and
I
again?
do.
Keep
Of
it
course
soft.
I do. So for years I had what was known as the wanky bottle.
For
Did I ever tell you the
No.
story?
Oh.
No.
I just remember the shiny wall. I don't remember the wanky bottle.
Oh, yeah, this
Actually,
is
I was in
so betrayal.
Deravara when the wanky bottle came around.
What is the wanky bottle?
Okay, I'll tell you what the wanky bottle is. So it was.
Did it have a My Little Pony figurine in the bottom?
I've seen that. I've seen that post. It's nasty. It's nasty.
Well, this story is going to a similar nasty place.
Oh.
So what I did was I got this 5-litre water bottle that had the wide aperture on it, put a condom and put it inside the bottle, and then kind of lubed it up. Then you put it on a desk about said height. Then you put on a video right in front of you on the screen of some woman getting, banged from doggy position. And then you're looking at this and you're going, yeah, this feels awesome. But there was a collection of maybe 4 days.
You didn't change it. You were
Yes.
fucking using your own
I was.
lube, like.
I was. But here's the thing. I know. Oh, it gets worse. It gets so
Did you
much
not get a
worse.
UTI from this or anything?
What happened then afterwards was Ben Fisher, if you're listening, Ben.
I remember
I know
Ben.
Ben. Yeah.
Ben came down to the house and I told him about the wanky bottle. And he said, you do not? I said, yeah. I said, there's about 4 days collection in it. And not one a day, by the way. I'm not a one-a-day person.
No. If it's there and it's easy enough in a bottle, like.
So I brought the bottle out and he was like, you're just nasty because there was like this much in the end of it. Now, what you have to remember
How much
is
had fallen out in your own leg?
not much at all.
Okay.
No, it all kind of stayed in the bottle. But here's the thing. When you squeeze the bottle, what happens? The condom goes inside out
Yeah.
and pushes the
Coming
fluid.
from Derek
Also,
Doyle.
It blows it up like a balloon.
blows it up like a balloon.
And so when it finishes, it turns inside out and flings it.
Yeah, comment from Derek.
It was a Sunny D bottle.
Oh no, I used to use Sunny D years ago. When that
JP
was-
said, "Don't bend, Aiden. Don't bend, Aiden. Everybody can see your ass." What's the crack, man?
Thank you, JP.
Yeah.
So Ben,
Shout out JP.
Ben, and anyway, he was like, "That's just disgusting," and I start running around after him with the bottle, and he ran outside the apartment. And as he ran, I punched the bottle with all my might, and it just shot out all over him, his car. And when I say it was all over him,
I'd actually be bashing your head
He-
in with a spanner, like.
he turned around at the wrong time to look at me, and
No.
just straight in the face.
Is that why you're not friends anymore?
No, as it turns out, we're not friends anymore because I had sex with his girlfriend.
Oh, for fuck's sake. The bottle wasn't enough, was it?
No, it wasn't. Well, in fairness, I didn't have sex with his girlfriend. I actually think he was. You guys tell me whether I'm right or wrong in this.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
Let me explain
chance.
first. Let me explain.
Don't give him a chance.
So
This hole.
what happened was there was a girl who was, I won't give her name, she was working in Domino's Pizza. At the time I was working as a delivery driver. She was going out with this guy called Ben. She was having terrible trouble in the relationship and she split up with him.
Right.
So
Were
me
they
and-
on a break?
They were exactly Ross and Rachel
Yeah.
thing. So me and this girl ended up doing the jig, but she was going on about Ben all the time. She missed him, and I said to her, "Look, this isn't working out. Go back to him. You know, this is clearly just you got out of your system." But then she introduced Ben to me, and we became really, really good friends. And I could never find the appropriate time to tell him that I had sex with his girlfriend.
Oh, dude.
So it was years and years later, like they were in a relationship for maybe 6 or 7 years.
Oh, man.
They broke up. So I waited for about 2 or 3 weeks and I said to him, listen, yeah, I did shag her. Because he always had his suspicions. And ever since then, he's never spoken to me.
Yeah,
I
fair
wonder
enough.
why. Like,
Fair enough.
You
But
really like.
how is that a bad thing? I didn't know him at the time and she was also single.
Yeah.
Was she single for like a couple of days, a week, a
Oh,
month?
probably an hour.
Yeah.
For all I was aware, I don't know.
Exactly. You know, between that and the cum bottle, man, you didn't really start yourself up there.
No,
for
I'm
like,
not selling myself at all tonight, am I? I'm not selling myself at all. But in fairness, I don't think I was wrong.
No, technically you weren't. Like a court of
Well,
law
no,
situation, no, you're not.
Well, no,
But
to be fair, like, if anything, she'd be in the wrong because it was her relationship,
Yes.
not yours.
Yes.
So there's that side of it as one.
But you have to remember she's a woman and women never
he's-
get in trouble.
He's not
Yeah.
going to like you for it. You can't expect him to like you for it.
Oh no, and I didn't. But the fact was, when they had broken up, I thought, well, now that they're apart, it's the appropriate time to say, maybe I should have just shut up and never said it.
No, maybe if you left it like a little bit longer, so that he was over the relationship rather than being raw and sore, and you're like, banged your missus.
Yeah.
But ex-misses.
But you have to remember, with breakups, a girl will be devastated straight away and a guy won't be. And as time goes on, she'll get over it and he'll get more and more wound up about it.
Yeah.
For about 3 or 4 months. So
Why is it, here's a question for you, why is it that you only ever hear men who go, I met the love of my life, the moon sparkles in her eyes, and it gets all romantic.
Women get like that too.
I've never heard it.
because they only say it to other girls.
Yeah, they keep that shit secret.
They
Really?
just get hung up on other people. That's it.
Would you say that to your friends if you met somebody? Have you ever fallen in love with somebody?
I've been single 10 years and counting.
So you've never fallen in love?
Not really. I love my family and say close friends. And
But you've
stuff like
never
that.
experienced a relationship love?
The first time I did, I wouldn't call it even love. So no.
So like puppy love?
Oh yeah, just stupid high school romantic crap.
Have you ever been in real love?
Ah, yeah, a couple times.
Oh yeah, you told us this before. You're
I'm
a
in
bit,
touch with my emotions, like, you know, yeah.
yeah, you're a bit of a love whore.
Probably.
You love to be loved.
I love to be in love, it's lovely.
Is it though?
Yeah,
It
of
is.
course it is.
It's the nicest feeling ever.
But love, correct me if I'm wrong, is the most selfish of all emotions.
No, it depends how it makes you act.
Okay, so what does love make you do?
Well, now, see, love, when you say the word love, are you talking about on the spectrum of emotion?
In love.
When you're in love with somebody?
Or no, even down to your family. So a perfect example of this would be, let's say
I'm not gonna lie, I don't love my family the same way as I love someone I'm going out with.
Oh yeah,
No,
sure.
yeah, but you'll get what I'm about to say. So let's say you have a brother, and the brother is after being in a car accident, and he's in hospital, and you love your brother, and you're beside the bed, and you know he's dying, and you're going to beg, and you're going to call
yeah,
to
you
God,
would,
yeah.
even if you're an atheist, and you're going to say, please, 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 don't take my brother away from me, don't do it. That's not because you want your brother to live, it's because you don't want to lose him.
Yeah.
So that's you being selfish. That's for you. It's not for him.
Yeah, but when you break it down, like, everybody's selfish. Everything
I know,
is
but
selfish.
like even in that instance, you can be kind of like, my brother's really young. He has a great life ahead of him. I want him to have all these other experiences. Like maybe he's not married yet. You know,
Yeah, it's not
maybe
purely
he hasn't
just
got
for
to
me.
fucking pull the pension
Yeah,
yet.
but
Like,
so-
that's a milestone I want to get to.
There's empathy in it. Like.
Let's say God himself came down to you, Pierce, and your brother's lying
I
there.
might go back to the doctor's.
And,
yeah.
and he says to you, I will allow your brother to live. I'll give him a miracle cure. He will be fine. But you can never come in contact with him again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck it. Like, where you go?
Oh, well,
Signed, sealed and delivered.
That's unselfish love.
Yeah, it's empathetic. Like.
Most people couldn't do that.
Yeah, they could.
They would, after giving the deal, they would look for that brother. They would. They would want to see them.
Would it be real kind of like time cop thing where you touch him and he goes, oh.
No, not at all. Megan, I don't suppose you have a second headline for us.
Oh, I just got rid of it. Wait, no.
Screw these headlines, man.
Yeah,
They're just remnants of a previous parasite.
a previous prick, you mean?
Yeah. Cowardly cunt. Anyway,
Yeah,
let's not
and-
get dragged down that garden
Let's
path.
just
Yes.
move on.
But when you're talking about love, right,
Yeah.
it's not just selfish. There's biological sense there as well. Like there's pheromonal contact, we've actual, when they call it chemistry between people. And if you meet an ideal pheromonal partner, you will fall in love. Like your brain tricks you to fall in love with that person the same way theirs will with you if it's a proper pheromonal match.
But don't they say that the heart will lead you into stupid places?
Oh yeah, like
Not as much as your belly.
Or your willy.
oh, Winnie will definitely get you in the
That
most
will
trouble.
lead you into the most trouble. And that's the part I've learned to ignore the most. Seriously, is to ignore my
Here, man.
genitalia.
Look, Evan's really hating on us tonight. Like,
What's he saying?
Aiden, you had this love being selfish conversation before. Meg, spell properly. If you're representing, learn how to use a mic. Yeah, don't invent foreign sound bites and stay the fuck away from the cables, you donkey. Fuck you, Ev. I'm trying my best, man. Like, I like
Yeah,
to see
Ev.
you do it. So yeah,
Mr. Harris.
Just follow Joe Rogan's
You've been told.
greatest piece of advice is don't read the comments.
Won't read Evan's.
No,
Yeah.
just don't read his silence him now for the evening.
Good
Quiet,
night,
Cyril.
Evan.
Quiet, you.
So,
That's
what
it.
is the most selfish of all emotions then? If not love, then what is?
Selfishness.
Coveting.
Self-preservation.
Selfishness isn't an emotion.
Yeah,
is
but
it?
No. To covet something is selfish.
Yeah.
To covet something or
But
like
would that be the most selfish? Would that be the one that be most destructive to someone's
greed.
life?
Yeah, because it's basically it's like a dark side of greed. Like,
Yeah, it is. It comes under the
It's,
spectrum of greed.
Because you know when you split up with somebody and
Yeah.
it gets nasty,
Yeah.
like it gets really fucking nasty. That went from love to nasty overnight.
No,
for
but
a
see
lot
what
of people.
happens.
That's your
What
head.
happens is when the love is gone, that your body's starving for that feeling again.
Why? Why does anybody want that feeling?
Because they do. It's normal human. You're not normal human. You don't get to throw your hat in this game. But what I'm saying to you is,
coming from
something-
fucking Spock over here,
yeah,
Mr.
when something's
Logic.
been taken away from somebody, there's a gap. There's an emptiness
Yes,
there.
and I understand that, and it's filling that void.
And that energy gets redirected into hate. You know what I mean? You'll hurt the ones you love the most.
And that's the truth. Again,
Yeah.
they're being selfish. Not they're being selfish. That
I get you, yeah.
The love is a selfish emotion.
It is and
No.
it isn't.
No,
It
no,
is. It's like an obsession almost, isn't
no,
it?
like if
Yeah.
you're in love with someone, you want to spend loads of time around them, but you also want them to live their best lives. It means that like you're happy with them going out, doing whatever work they want to do. That they're still fucking keeping their friendships up. They're still engaged in whatever the fuck they enjoy doing in their
Because
spare
you get
time.
those abusive relationships people get in where they're not allowed to do anything
Yeah,
anymore
it
because
gets
they
very
have a
controlling.
partner.
Like they'd have joint Facebook accounts and stuff.
So, like, it would be what you guys are talking about is like living vicariously through someone's love.
No, in the slightest.
No, it's just like this weird.
That only means if you're doing nothing yourself, like you'd be looking at someone else doing all the
comes
things.
from insecurity, like.
No, but like what you just said. So let's say you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and
Yeah.
they go out and they're doing whatever they love to do.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the same on my side.
So, but you love to see them being happy.
Absolutely. Imagine that.
Like I draw the line because there's this.
Actually twisting your head
My
there.
brain's hurting. Stop.
Remember we were talking about toxic masculinity, toxic femininity came up.
Yes.
It all comes under the one umbrella of toxic individualism,
Yeah.
Okay.
and that's a new thing you're going to see a lot of lately because people only can't come to terms with it. And toxic individualism is like where everything is about the individual now because you can make the most money out of people when they're individuals.
Yes.
Like everything is sellable to somebody. Sell people lifestyle, sell people stuff they don't need, give them ideas they don't want.
Well, that goes against the left, then, does it not? I notice how I look at you when I say
Yeah, I
that.
swear the fuck I was straight
Because
over, like.
the left are all about group identity rather than individual identity.
No,
you're
it
You're talking
comes
about
in-
identity politics there. That's a completely different thing. That's how someone identifies themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that exists everywhere. Like, I mean, like, what football do you team support? It's all based on a kind of a tribalism nearly, you know?
And do you agree with that identity politics?
I think
I do to a point, as in I can understand where it comes from.
So, but how do you punish a group? You can punish an individual, but you can't punish a group.
Why are
you
we on
can.
about punishing groups here? It's a bit
Well,
fascist.
if they went wrong, like let's say
What?
for example BLM, when they went out and they kicked that man to death in the middle of the
You
street.
see, the problem with groups is if the group gets big enough, they're not wrong. They've majority. Problem with democracy.
Yeah, we live in mob rule, like.
It is mob rule.
And that was just mob mentality that happened.
Yes, it
But
was.
see,
but
what we're
again,
suffering. Let me get on to my point.
Go on.
What we're suffering with at the minute is toxic individualism, where it's all about you, the individual, and what you want to do, not fuck everybody else, just you.
Oh yeah,
And
I can think
that
of
is
one
the-
person in mind.
That is the core of Satanism. The core value of Satanism is that love thyself. The core love of Christianity is love everybody. Same with Judaism. Same with
Hang on a
Islam.
second. Can we go back to Satanism there? Because they have their Bible and they have like 13 really cool rules.
They do, but if you read into them, it's all about the self
Yeah.
over everybody else. But the whole thing about individualism is it gets to a point where it turns so far as you have to break down society. Because if it's just a bunch of individuals and everybody,
Exactly, yeah.
everybody can subgenre themselves sexuality-wise, gender-wise, identity-wise.
Can I just show something else there? Like
Yeah.
the Church of Satan, they actually pay tax in America.
Yeah, because they're not a real church.
No,
They're not registered.
They are.
Yeah,
They
but
are.
they don't get the tax break.
They have it. They voluntarily pay tax.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, but do
Looking
you,
at the Scientology guys like,
offhand, do you know any of the rules, the 13 rules? Offhand, Richie?
no, I don't know any. All I know that it's
I think one
about
is
the
like
self.
one is really strong on consent. That you don't make an advance unless it's welcome. That's one of their core rules.
Really?
Yeah.
A Satanist?
Yep.
Because it's not, it's not based on Christianity, Satanism. It's just based as another religion, and they pick Satan as a figure because it's,
He
the
was
opposite of
cast down.
Christianity, and they just kind of rally behind that nearly as like a fucking irony.
Right.
Do you know?
Well, and actually, what you're saying there, it leads on from exactly how I opened up this conversation was when you're in a stale relationship.
Yeah.
It's about consent. So I was in a relationship, a 13-year relationship.
Oh yeah,
and-
the stale one, yeah.
And I'd say, okay, do you want to have sex? And I'd be, oh, come on, let's. And you're having sex with somebody who's going, are you finished yet? Type of thing.
Yeah, that sucks,
And
man, because
you feel like dirt.
you should, but you shouldn't go looking for that sex again. You should be on Tinder looking
absolutely.
for the next relationship.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, get out of there.
But you feel like shit, and this is why I said at the very start, when somebody rapes somebody, I couldn't imagine how the hell they would enjoy that other than the carnal instinct to rape somebody.
That's just a pure, for those people, it's just about power.
Ego trip, like.
Yeah, because I genuinely couldn't have sex with somebody who didn't want to have sex with me.
Yeah, no.
Like,
No.
even down to a prostitute, I would never pay a prostitute for sex. I just wouldn't do it. Yeah, I have to have that type of connection, or what's the point?
Yeah, it's not the same act.
Because you have to put a lot of effort in.
Yeah.
Relationships.
It's a lot of effort for you.
Fucking suck.
All you can do it while eating a burger, man.
It's all about the other. It's all about the other person. Fuck that.
Yeah, flat on your back. Just think about it.
It's another way of having your cake and eating it. There has to be. Look at him. Yes, there is.
Ooh, cake sex.
Oh, did you ever see Chinese fart porn?
No, let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Jesus.
Chinese fart porn is where they get an iced cake and they will sit on the cake, fart, and then a fat guy will eat it.
Nice. But back to individualism.
Go on.
You see where I'm going, where like the individualism has been pushed and pushed and pushed on younger and younger and younger people, and getting to the point where
No, I don't see it. I see group identity being pushed on people, not individualism.
through the media. But I'm talking about individualism, where people are all about themselves. We all have a personal device now that we connect to this wider thing with. Like technology's taken, not that it is taking over; it has taken over.
Well, then there at least has to be a debate on, who's the hell is winning, because is it the individual or is it the group? Where do we put the politics?
No, the people who are winning are the people who make money off this. They're the only people that win.
Because you understand group identity. We all understand group identity.
Yeah, but there's certain groups you're allowed to be a part of, and there's certain groups that everybody frowns upon.
But see, the problem with group identity is we all belong to a group. I could be bald or a musician or
All stereotyping,
overweight.
like.
I could be any group, really. Let's say I could be a part of a group of black people. I'm not black, but let's say the black people were gay and I was gay. Now I'm part of their group.
Yeah.
So group
One of
identity
it,
doesn't work.
Maybe it's like them Venn diagrams where they all kind of overlap each other.
It's a ridiculous overlap.
All that means is that you have some sort of shared interest or whatever,
Yeah, but see, politicians want to group everybody into that specific group. Like
Same as
Black Lives Matter, they're
same
a
as,
group that
like-
need to be protected.
No, but it's the same as advertising. They want to know the demographics, and they break down the demographics with different titles, whatever, so that they can target
The
for
infinity
votes.
of titles.
Well, no, it's just so they can drive for votes. If we're talking about politicians, like they just want to know, right, this group here, what are their key issues? How can I plumose them into a vote? Do you know what soundbite do I need to gather up that?
And that's all it is
What
sound bites.
percentage of them are? It's there. What percentage of them are single issue voters?
Yeah.
Because if you have 60% of the group as a single issue voter, I just have to hammer home on that one single issue, and I've got 60% of the vote.
Yeah, which is a bit retarded because that is how most people vote.
Yeah,
They're-
single issue.
By the way, you look strange without glasses.
Oh, do I?
Yeah,
I
have
can put
you
them
got-
back on if you want.
No,
Sexy strange.
Have you got contacts in or?
No, I just took them off. I don't need them for the distance, but I'm in the habit of wearing them.
Oh, okay. Right, no, it's just because I knew there was something different about him and I just twigged it right now. I was like, oh no, he's not wearing these glasses. That's right. Sorry, Richie, you were saying.
I can't remember now.
You can't remember.
Something about single issue voters. But
And do you know
you
yeah.
have the thing is you're falling for. You're
Which
falling
is?
for it hard.
Which is?
believing that these groups exist only because they
Oh, no, I don't
they have-
believe it.
they have an online presence. What you have to look at is the over-representation in media of fringe elements of most groups.
Yeah, but no, see, I don't believe that these groups exist purely on the case that each group overlaps another group. So there can never be group identity. They can't be.
No.
They just can't be because, as I said, they overlap one another.
Yeah, but I just think they're over-emphasized and represented online. Like, Black Lives Matter, they're a terrorist organisation, same as
Absolutely.
Antifa.
Yeah.
I'm not calling it anything other than a terrorist group, because all they do is go out and burn, loot,
Have
and
you seen their
murder.
manifesto?
Yeah.
Yeah, read
Burn,
their
loot, and
manifesto.
murder. Burn,
Have
loot,
you
and
read
murder.
the manifesto?
Not on the slightest, to
Read
be
it.
honest with you.
They want the abolition of the nuclear family.
Yeah.
What's the fucking point?
That's already gone. Nuclear
But they-
family is gone, man.
but
It's
they
an
want the-
unattainable lifestyle
They
now.
want the abolition of it. They want it destroyed. They want it brought into power that you can no longer have a two-parent family. How retarded is that?
Yeah, but see,
Where
that's,
is that written? Because
In their manifesto.
I
See, there's-
don't believe anyone
You're looking at
wants
fringe.
the destruction of like a family
I was
unit.
the same.
No, see,
Say
there's,
that again.
I don't think anyone wants the destruction of a family unit.
Except for Black Lives Matter.
No, but if you look at, just say you go to Trinity, they're on the cusp of every social media trend, as in, oh, we've genderless bathrooms now. Oh, you have to have pronouns now.
Yeah, they're
And
very proactive. They're
very
international.
proactive. But I think they're being overly proactive on certain things where they shouldn't. It's like, well, maybe let's look at your accessibility for disabled students more than your accessibility for somebody who wants to be a problem.
Honest to God, yeah.
You know, it's like whatever's going on.
Wait. Sorry, somebody who wants to be a problem.
Listen, if you grew up most of your life a male,
Okay.
and when you get into your college years,
You do realise this is supposed to be for the second half of the show.
I don't care about what half goes where. I'm on the mind frame now. You have me in it.
All right, come on.
When it comes to,
We're just going to segue, are we? By the
we're
way,
going to segue. Priorities get messed up.
Okay.
I am all for providing things for disabled students, be it people hard of hearing, people who are visually impaired, physical impairments, people.
The Trinity
who,
Access Office is actually really good.
it is really good,
like,
but it's been overtaken in the last 2 years by the transgender argument, and these people
I don't know if I fully agree with that, because Trinity have a great access program that actually brings.
They do, and
people
other
from-
colleges are getting in on it to get their students'
AIT
education.
has a brilliant access
Yeah.
program. There's one lad that went into the access program, went on to do the higher cert, and completed his PhD all within AIT.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Like
it's mad
but
work,
AIT is probably one of the better institutes of technology for accessibility in the country.
Oh no, it's amazing.
It is
Like,
really
big up
good college,
AIT.
really overlooked. But all I'm saying is, the point I'm trying to make is that Trinity, they were at the forefront of accessibility, right? But the thing is, they're going so far out of their way now to cater to fringe elements that they're taking
Can you
all
give me
the
some
spot.
examples of that?
Last week, Irish Times article.
Okay, grand. You have some context. I didn't have.
Yeah.
I'm not up to date on this at all.
Now,
Sorry.
most of my problems are coming from the likes of the Irish Times, but it's a different story. I'll get around to that after. But I'm tired of people looking at fringe elements and putting that as the poster boy up front, big issue. Because it's a great way to turn people in an argument to say, well, why are you against transgender people doing anything? If they're just people like you and me. I'm like, yes, they are people like you and me. I'm against the way it's being portrayed to us. I don't think it's as big a issue as it's being portrayed to be. But that's also through the decline of print media. And these massive media companies have so much power and influence that they've lost all the revenue of print media. Now they're online, and instead of people buying papers, they're getting people to click. And to get the clicks, they're putting up tabloid-esque headlines. And in Ireland, they're very clever, and their tabloid-esque headlines are there to go, what? Read it to see what this nonsense is.
Clickbait.
And it's clickbait.
Oh, actually, there was a funny one there. Speaking of the Irish Times and all that, like, basically where they're on about the North possibly having food shortages, because of Brexit, like. And I just kind of put the comment under, actually, look, it might get a bit awkward, but at least they won't starve. It lasted about 10 minutes before they deleted it, like, but
They deleted your comment.
they deleted my comment.
Snakes.
Oh, they'll do
Tweet
that.
on Facebook, yeah.
But, like,
This is an interesting debate, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm watching the pair of yous go at it, because I know which end of the spectrum both of yous lie. And I know that Richie is holding himself back on certain things that he would love to say.
I would love to say it. Look,
But unfortunately, we live in an era where we can no longer be honest, and we have to tippy-toe around.
but see, I'm not tippy-toeing or anything.
You are.
I fundamentally believe in your right to do whatever the fuck you want to
Yeah.
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I don't agree.
Well,
with
then you're a lefty.
Yeah, but I don't agree with organisations taking the liberty of representing you en masse to everybody and creating.
What is the exact?
It's like a trend.
What are the exact access issues or whatever that seem to be just wearing thin on you?
It's Harvard did it last
No,
week.
no, 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 no. You're
Trinity-
talking about all these people doing it. What was done?
this week, right? They're trying to bring
Yeah,
it in
yeah.
now that you can't in Trinity or in Harvard.
Right.
You cannot address a pregnant woman. You can't call her a pregnant woman. You have to call her a birthing person. Little things like that. This whole pronouns thing.
I know, but that's true. Like, you know, like,
You can't police how people talk.
But
But,
this clearly
like-
is not legislation.
no. It's
obviously-
policies.
No, hang on.
on
Within-
campus
hang
policies.
on.
Hang
I
on
get
a
it.
second. What they're saying there is that if you do not know the identity of that individual, that you refer to them as a pregnant person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas if you know Mary down the fucking office over there, and she's about 7 months up the duff, like about to go off maternity,
Yeah.
you can say, Mary, Jesus, you're a healthy looking pregnant woman there. Do you know?
but see,
they're
they're taking away the right.
They're not.
As you present,
they're not in the slightest.
Yeah, but
you're just reading too much into this.
I am reading too much into it.
What they're doing is they're sacrificing the rights of the majority to
protect the minority.
I don't think they
protect
are.
the minority.
I don't think they are in any shape or form.
Because what if? So let's take for example pregnant women.
Yeah.
The vast majority. Actually, let me see. No, all women. It's only women who can get pregnant. It is only women.
No, apart from individuals who identify as men.
Okay, they identify as men, but they're not really men. They are women who are having babies. They're genetically, biologically a woman.
That's just sheer transphobia, like.
But no, dude, true or false? Only a woman, a female,
a female of the mammalian species
can only give birth.
No, because you're talking about a gender identity on to sex biology.
Okay,
like.
so okay, let's remove the identity.
You can argue that's only someone with two X chromosomes.
Okay, let's argue that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's pretty simple. It's only someone with two X chromosomes can get pregnant.
But so is that what we should?
Someone with two X chromosomes is the female of the species.
It is, yeah. Traditionally.
But see, that's the thing. There's traditionally, and then there's biological facts.
Yeah, biologically, only someone with two X chromosomes can get pregnant.
But what about the Joe Rogan argument, where you have someone who's a man for 30 years, does roids, gets into fighting, maybe comes 30th nationally in the fighting, has a quick gender reassignment, and 2 years later is top of the women's table, and is crushing women's skulls.
Doesn't even need gender reassignment.
Well,
they can just identify. They don't need it. They just have to be on hormone therapy.
I do have concerns about that.
Because of the physicality, like we have stronger cheekbones because of testosterone, where our bodies develop differently. We have different bone density.
Well, I just even just in physical stature, like, you know what I mean? Like, by and large, men are generally bigger than women. And like, I don't particularly agree, and I feel that there's the possibility for that to be exploited in rare cases.
Let me ask you a question. If we were to hold a survey, and in your opinion, if we were to hold,
I don't do surveys, man. I do
if we were to hold
a repeatable experiment there.
If we were to hold a survey in Ireland and ask women how many women actually want to be called a woman, what do you think that percentage is going to be?
See, when you
probably higher than those that want to be called girls.
Okay, so either way, that's just pedantic. That's pedantic. Pedantic. So, how many? What do you think? Maybe 99% of women want to be called women.
Sure.
The vast majority.
The vast majority. Yeah. So what we're doing is we're sacrificing the rights of them women to be called a woman.
No, they're not.
Because of this 1%.
That's nonsense.
Pierce.
But that's exactly what's happening.
Nonsense.
You've your view of it, right?
Yeah, and you're all wrong.
I know women. No. I can't say who they are because they said to me, don't say I said that on the fucking podcast. But they're extremely uncomfortable having anybody that isn't fully female in a bathroom with them.
Yeah,
yes.
Same.
As in, when I remember years ago, my mother could bring me into the women's toilet to have a pee.
Yeah.
When I was a little child.
Yeah.
Now, when my girls want to go to the toilet, especially my 7-year-old or I'm 2, I have to stand at not right beside the women's door.
Can you not fucking shield them into a cubicle? Like, have a quick look in the door, see a cubicle.
No,
open.
I wouldn't dare bring a girl into a men's toilet.
Fair enough.
Good man.
As much as not to upset the men that's in there
exactly,
as well.
not to upset the men that are in there as well, because some guys might be uncomfortable.
Terribly
so I have to send them in. I have to stand outside the door and wait.
Child needs to go to the toilet.
Outside the door and wait. But there was a case in America where this guy was just going around in a dress to gain entrance to women's locker rooms and was approaching children in this mall. Yeah, and he did it 6 or 7 times in the one day. He got arrested and justice was done. And rightly so.
But like, you know,
but he's in the minority.
But you have
he's
to admit,
in the minority.
He is literally co-opting someone else's. Like,
yes, he is. Yeah,
he's completely co-opting the situation.
He's not being
his own perverted he's being
desires.
A predator,
he's not being genuine.
He's not being authentic.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I was crossed with that scenario, I would be in jail for manslaughter.
Oh yeah,
murder,
easily.
Yeah,
pen to the neck. Like,
go back to my question there with the, let's say 99% of women say we want to be called women. Right, but now we have this 1% saying we want to be called Pierce, Z's or whatever it is.
So they can.
Who
do
we listen to?
No, you listen to the individual you're talking to.
But
how do we know?
Do you not think it's stifling?
It's really simple.
But we have nomenclature, which means we have to be able to understand each other. We have a basic language that we all need to understand, because outside of that, if we all start using words that we don't understand,
before you go down
we
this
get
rabbit
confused.
Do you not think it's backwards, right? Whereas I'm like, hello, Aiden, nice to meet you, buddy. Buddy, you call me a man. And they get really huffed up and offended because they haven't been identified the way they'd like to be identified.
And then if they get huffed up and offended, look, sorry.
I tell them to fuck off.
No,
that's the way I am.
Well, I'd just be more along the lines of, sorry, did I offend you in some way? And they're like, yeah, sorry, cool. Which do you prefer? And we'll
but now you've put the power and the ball firmly in their court.
Because all it is a simple use of pronouns. It doesn't do anything else the rest of the conversation.
Or it's
Yeah, but when it comes into
that
like
trigger out of
higher
it.
ranking positions and jobs and stuff, when someone does something that's like outside of social norms, like it can really, like in office environments, it can really fucking fester. Really can.
Yeah.
Like especially for bullying and bullying alone. When someone stands out and wants to be so different and everybody else has a problem with it, like
Well, chances
they
are
might.
they're probably not going to get too far if they're creating problems.
what
Yeah.
should the punishment be?
What do you mean?
For what? Like,
Let's
Oh,
say.
you'll know soon when the hate speech laws come in and we can't say anything.
So what should the
Lies.
punishment be? So let's say you identify as a woman.
Yeah.
And
whatever.
you come over to me and you say, "Hi, my name is Mary," and I'm looking as you're going, but you're a dude. You're clearly physically a dude.
Okay.
And you
But
say,
my name is Mary.
"Yeah, but your name is Mary."
That's quite a common middle name for men, actually.
And if I say to you, "Well, what do you
Gay
identify?"
Burns' middle name is Mary.
That's correct. Yes.
Gay Mary Byrne.
If you said I identify as a woman and I say to you, "But you're a man," should I be punished for that?
Well, you've misgendered
No.
that person.
What?
Yes.
Well, no, like, what do you mean?
So how do we solve the problem?
You don't. You just separate the assholes from people who can have a conversation.
Language needs to come naturally.
No. It's a case of like, if I was identifying as a woman,
What's that?
that's a fucking pen.
Okay.
Okay.
So
no,
what
no,
if-
but
what
no,
if
go
I-
back here,
what if-
'cause I
no,
have-
what if I
still
start
haven't got
calling
to-
this-
I
what-
still haven't got to respond to your last
Oh,
point.
sorry, go on,
like,
go on, go on.
yeah.
Go on.
So basically, like, if you had misgendered me and I was offended by it, I just wouldn't talk to you or interact with you.
What
And
if you
I go-
have to talk to him and have to interact with him in a work?
I'll take fries with that, please.
Or no, not even that. Not even in a work environment. All you have to think of is the Canadian Bill C-16.
In what situation am I going to have to talk to him?
No, but Bill C-16
I have
in
no
Canada.
idea what that is.
That basically is what
That's over technical information
what
that
I'm
doesn't
talking-
further the conversation.
What,
Sorry.
it is because it's what we're talking about right now, where I refuse to call you by your proper pronoun. In Canada, Bill C-16
Has no place in Ireland.
says that I can go to prison for not calling you by your preferred pronoun.
Pierce.
This is why I got on to, just hold on 2 seconds, 2 seconds.
That's like a whole ocean away,
But
dude.
this is
That's
why
not my problem.
This is why I got on to and ask you,
I didn't
what is
vote for
this
that.
called? This is called a pen.
Yeah.
Right. So we
It's a black
have
pen.
to.
It's a big
we
pen.
have
It's a
to
ballpoint
agree.
pen. It's many things.
We have to agree on nomenclature, words, because if I start calling this a falugal and I say to you, grab the falugal over there, and you go, what the fuck is a
Yeah,
falugal?
That
No,
could be a
yeah.
colloquialism, though. It
We-
might be accepted.
We need
Depends on
to
context.
We need to agree, and we have done for thousands of years on nomenclature and language and male, female, black,
I don't know.
white.
There's an awful lot of languages, man, and they develop constantly.
Anyway,
They
hold on.
do, but naturally, not
Hold on.
enforced by government.
You stop.
Stop. Shut up, you.
You shut up with it.
Go on.
This Bill C-16, I know you
Yeah,
said it's a
okay,
whole
okay,
ocean
I-
away.
I
and it means
take it
nothing to
more
us.
seriously, whatever.
We're getting hate speech legislation next month.
Yes, we are.
And it is copy and paste of Bill C-16.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's copy and paste.
Yeah.
And it's
so-
coming in over here. And it's really, it's going to protect a lot of people. You call someone a faggot online, you call someone gay, you discriminate against anybody's sexual orientation, you are fucking getting it.
So you
will
have to be original in your insults.
You have to be very original. in your
Yeah.
insults. Now, what I'm saying is,
that's no bad
if
thing,
you
man.
pick on people for being gay, you deserve it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're bully. Like.
I'm all for people being gay, but I'm so conflicted on the transgender argument. See, I would follow Jordan B. Peterson. You know 12 Rules for Life,
Oh,
Jordan
go away
Peterson?
with your lobster.
Yeah, no, listen.
He had
Clean
a
your
great-
room.
That man talks perfect, logical sense.
Clean your room. It's a joke.
Every time he gets into an argument with somebody, you just watch him think. and
Nah,
he-
he's a joke.
No, I
Really?
really subscribe to him. I really like
So
him.
do I.
I'd hit that unsubscribe button right
So,
there.
give us an example of why you would not like Jordan Peterson. What has he said that is so outrageous or illogical,
original.
or illogical that you disagree with? What is it that you don't like about
He
him?
keeps telling me to clean my room, man. I don't like it.
But he's
You
dead
gotta
right.
clean that room, man.
He's dead right. A house-
Nah.
That's one thing that's done ready for you when you come. Jocko Willink.
It's a
You can't
metaphor,
argue with Jocko Willink, and Jocko Willink is all about making that bed.
but it's a metaphor. That's all it is. It's about
Marie
putting your
Kondo
house.
does it better. Just get rid of all your shit.
But what Jordan Peterson is doing is he's using a metaphor. Put your house in order before you try to put somebody else's house in order.
Exactly. You should never
Which
try
is
and put
perfect. Is that not perfect sense? That makes perfect sense and good advice to somebody.
right, Pierce, I'll give you my whole other angle on the trans.
I haven't listened to enough Jordan Peterson to
You should
actually,
listen to him.
I have tried, and he annoys me the way he walks up and down across
And
the
he
room.
sounds like a
and-
frog as well, Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, it does nothing for me.
My problem with the transgender thing, it's something sexy for kids.
I don't think so.
No,
I think that's a really, really fucked up
It
way of
is.
looking at it.
No,
is.
but that's what's happening. I'm not saying the way it's not the
How?
way.
Because boys might want to play with makeup. I don't think that has anything
that's
to do with
fine.
orientation.
No, that's cool. But the problem is as well, it's these kids' parents. Like, there's no way in hell there's a transgender 4-year-old. It's like a vegan cat. We know who's making the decisions.
Well, it's not even that. It's like, you know, you could be a kid and kind of decide, fuck it, I want to wear a dress today. They look like fun.
Yeah,
Do you
well,
know,
let them.
you might see Braveheart or
That's
something.
fine.
Let
You know
them,
what I mean?
but don't then the next day bring them down to a clinical psychologist and try to get them on hormone blockers.
No, I don't think hormone blockers are good at all. I think that's extremely dangerous to the individual, to their bones,
Yeah,
to
and
their
to-
entire bodies. I don't think that's... I don't believe in hormone blockers.
Yeah, and then the rights of
Except-
power of
don't-
attorney taken away from parents.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, like, I think, like, look, if you really want to go into the fucking hormone blocker argument, the only thing I'd say is, like, look, if a kid is adamant about their gender dysphoria and whatever else, and it's progressed for years, and there might even have been attempts in their own life and stuff,
Let them at it.
then I'm kind of like, fuck it, if it keeps them alive.
Do you not believe it's a trend? That it can be seen as a trend. It's trendy to do. I tell you why.
I think that's just people exploring with their identity is becoming a trend.
I'm okay. Jesus, explore all you want. But over in the UK, I can't get the name of the town. It's escaping me right now. But there was a school, and they done a survey in the school, and 40% of the students identified as non-binary.
Yeah, because
40%.
Man, do you realize that if you identify as non-binary, you can walk into a shop and if you think anything looks cool, you can wear it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But how does a population jump from 100% straight and all that kind of stuff?
Because they were just given another option.
They were given another option, exactly.
They have to have
were
unisex, man.
They were
But,
given
like,
an option that's outside
What
of
is
the
wrong with
norm.
What's wrong with non-binary? Besides, not even that. You get the coolest prefix if you're non-binary.
Do you
You get MX.
do you
as your
accept?
prefix.
Do you accept that the vast majority of those 40% of children who are saying they're non-binary will grow up to be man or a woman?
They'll probably just fucking go through. Most of them will go through some sort of phase with
Exactly.
it. It'll be harmless.
It's harmless.
So
but
then
they
where's
will,
the issue?
No, I'm not saying it's an issue. Don't
That
get
you're
me wrong.
really bringing it
no,
up
no,
like
no,
an
no.
issue.
What I'm saying is kids have learned to exploit this. Adults have learned to exploit this.
People will exploit
And this is
anything.
what my big problem is, because at the end of the day, there are real people on the other end of this who are harming themselves.
Yeah.
There are people who are committing suicide after their surgery.
There's 0.1% of people born in this country that are born with both sets of bits.
Yes.
Yeah,
what do you call
They're
them?
intersex.
intersex. Used to be called hermaphrodites, now they're called intersex.
Yeah,
right?
hermaphrodites a bit.
And those people,
Yeah.
it's pretty fair. Like they have a full set of ovaries and a full set of testicles.
Yeah, but they have X
But-
or
No, they
Some
can,
of them-
They
some
can
of
be
them
double
both.
XY. They can be like they haven't.
They're
they
literally
haven't-
both in one.
Yeah.
They have
But-
everything.
One thing I can say is
And they-
brilliant. is
would that not be considered? And I know this is a terrible word to use. A freak of nature.
No. They're called intersex.
No, but
and it's a
is
very
it
low
not-
probability of it occurring.
So yeah, but that low probability is a freak of nature.
It's more common
It's a
than.
I'm not saying the person is. I'm saying the actual, whatever is happening to them in
Look,
the womb.
It's something that happens on enough for it to be a level of probability.
Yes. There are
Do you
people
know?
born with it, right? But the thing is, it's actually more common than people who are born with all their organs the wrong way around.
That's a really fucked up thing. Like you know, like, you can literally be born and that like your
Everything's
insides is-
reversed.
Yeah.
Like a complete mirror image of where it should be. The heart's on the other side, the liver, the larger side of the liver's on the other side, the stomach's on the other side.
Never heard of this.
Yeah,
It's a
and-
real thing. That's less common than being born with full sets of both bits.
And
And
the
it's
funny-
also more common than being born with a completely smooth cerebellum.
Oh.
One of the funny thing is that like sometimes surgeons, obviously unless you've done an MRI or something, you're not going to know. So they can go in to do a surgery and they open it and go, oh shit, everything's over there.
back to front. Yeah.
Yeah. We
There's
start
a
over here
word
instead.
for a mirror.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's cool. It's really cool when you see it.
Well, you're not cool for the person.
No, it's pretty cool for them. Like,
it makes no difference to their life.
Really?
It makes no difference.
Yeah, but
it's-
nature wanted it this way for a reason.
No. But like, it's
So
literally
why
like,
is it-
It's like your left and your right hand. Both hands are hands. Do you know what I mean?
they're at
like-
no disadvantage.
Yeah.
It's
Only that if someone was doing CPR on them, they mightn't put the pads on the right side.
Yeah.
That's the only chance to be at a disadvantage.
But there has to
Even
be
at
a
that, it's still
disadvantage.
probably
to
going to
it.
go across.
Depends
You know?
on how high up they put this pad and how low down they put the
Fair
other
Well,
pad.
enough.
let's
yeah.
go back to the transgender thing. The suicide rate amongst post-operative
40%.
transgender is 40%. Now, I have read suicide letters. I have read them with my own eyes. I've
Right.
seen these letters.
But
They're online. And here's the thing. This is my problem. Most of these people, they go, and it's mostly men who want to become women. It's very rarely the other way around. It's actually a lot more men want to be women. And a man comes along and goes, I feel like a woman. Really? What does a woman feel like? Can you tell me what a woman feels to be like a woman?
Only
Can
a woman
can
knows
you
what it's
even
like to be a
explain?
woman.
If let's say you had
Could that person say that like I feel as if I identify more with flowery dresses than our genes.
Which is also now what they're identifying to is the patriarchy's version of what a woman should be.
Now,
Of course,
you can't
because
use
those dresses don't
the
have
whole
pockets.
patriarchy.
Oh, no,
thing.
I am,
No, you
because
can't.
I
'Cause
am.
it doesn't exist.
That's my point.
Yeah, but so you can't
What is
allude
it?
to it if it doesn't
The
exist.
feminists will say, I shouldn't have to wear makeup. I shouldn't have to wear.
Yeah, but there's
flowery
feminists
skirts.
that are against
I shouldn't
transgender.
have to wear
transgenderism.
bras. I shouldn't have to do this, that, and the other. So there's this stereotypical image of a woman that a man tries to be, which is the lipstick and the dresses and the this and the that and the other. Which
RuPaul's
is
Drag Race.
exactly exactly. Which is a very good TV show, by the way. I have watched it.
Yeah, but see, drag's different.
Yes, it is.
Drag is usually no, I'm not saying
Yeah,
that.
it's an entertainment
but it's
thing.
usually very pointed at gay men.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
usually do the best at it.
What was the movie Wesley Snipes was in? Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze. They were transvestites. What you were saying?
Drag
queens. Have you never seen it?
They're nearly like
Priscilla, I think it was called.
What's that phrase? A hyper-real simulacrum.
A what?
Do explain.
Yes.
Where like if you look at like drag queens compared to like the woman you see walking down the street, they're a hyper-real simulacrum version. They've
Yes,
become
art imitating life, and it gets to the point
Yeah.
where like you've little plastic dinosaurs made from oil that used to be dinosaurs.
yeah. Or tiki bars.
Comment from
Toronto.
JJ. Depends on what woman you feeling.
But here's the reason why I ask. You don't know what it feels like to be a man. If I was to say to you, I have no taste buds. I've never tasted a thing in my entire life.
All right.
I've no taste buds. I want you to describe the taste of an orange to me.
Have I brushed my teeth today?
Doesn't matter. Can you describe the taste of an orange? Can you describe what that feels like?
Yeah, sharp, with a bit of
Will I
bite.
ever understand it?
No.
No.
I'll never understand
You've
it.
no relativity.
I have
But
no
that's a
relativity, and neither
but-
has a
but
man
no,
to a
but
woman.
You're talking about a sensory input there. You're talking about
Yes.
a direct,
We're-
like
but we're
nerve
one-
sensory input. Like,
But
you
we're
mean-
all one big sensory input. That's all we are, is an input.
Well, no, we're an input, a process, and an output.
Same thing.
No, it's an entire system rather
Every
than
bit
just,
of you input something.
Yeah. But like, we're not just so simple as just to be an input device.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We exist, we grow, we change.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're way more complex than just.
Are you trying to
this
say
is how I
subject to our environment?
No, I'm not.
No, he's deliberately avoiding the environment thing.
I am. That's all down to Simone de Beauvoir. You know Simone de Beauvoir?
No.
No? Do you know she cornered the market on the whole transgender thing.
Yeah.
There was a guy that she wrote about, and it was the cornerstone for the whole transgender argument, where these two boys were brought into a family, and this doctor made one a boy and one a girl, and said
Why?
it was all about social condition as an experiment.
This is
so
a German
wrong. I
doctor,
hate
was it? 'Cause
those.
they did a
No,
lot
an
of-
American
There's a lot
guy.
of fucked up
There's like,
experiments.
that's
that
like
way.
your man that wouldn't hug his kid.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And like at the end of 5 years, they were like, "You broke your kid. Give
but
it a hug."
here's the thing:
Oh my god.
they actually done
You broke your kid.
all of
Please
the
hug me.
all of the transgender studies. I'll get his name during the break. All of the transgender studies cite this guy as how successful the experiment was. Now, what nobody ever bothered
Have
to
you looked
read
at
up
any modern
afterwards.
reviews on
Yes, I have, and that's the problem. Afterwards, these two kids
like, I'm
who were
not
made
so-
have sex with each other. By the way, they made two brothers have sex with each other, but one was technically a girl and one was technically a boy. So
This is all kinds of wrong. Like,
as they got older,
no, this is
one of
already
them,
all kinds of wrong.
one
like,
of them
I would not accept that.
took a gun and blew their own brains out.
Can't blame them.
Understand.
I feel
And
really
the other
sorry
one
for that person.
overdosed.
Yeah.
All because they were thrown into this weird fucked up world.
Experiment,
But
yeah.
my point is, this man is cited as the #1 authority on transgenders, and this is where the studies begin, is with that shitty experiment.
But see, when people want something bad enough, they will jump on anything
Oh,
to
they
get
will,
their
yeah,
way.
of course. Of
And
course.
there are people out there that all they want is to change gender.
I honestly would love you to get in touch with people who are transgender.
Oh, I know. I have like two people who
yeah.
I know who are in town
Yeah,
here.
And I would love to hear what they have to say because they actually have the lived experience.
They do, yeah,
Do you know?
absolutely. Well, we'll get
And-
back to that after the break. Have you any comments you want to read out before anything, WhatsApp texts, anything coming in there?
Well, I can't really see with this now because another thing opened up. So.
Any WhatsApps?
No, I don't think so.
No, there's nothing there.
Yeah, not to
That's-
worry, sure, look.
Well, if you want to get in touch with the show, 085
2727212.
Text
Yeah.
or WhatsApp or leave us a message on Facebook. Don't forget to share and like the show. Back in a
don't
few
do it.
minutes.
Don't do it.
Do it.
So, Billy, does your social media look like a teenager's bedroom?
What? Full of Justin Bieber posters?
No, you incompetent fool. Messy and unorganized.
Yeah, it kinda does. But what can I do about it?
Oh, poor simple Billy. Why not put all your social media in one convenient place?
But gee whiz, mister, how can I do that?
With Social QR, of course. It's easy, fast, and free.
But what's Social QR?
Well, Billy, I'm glad you asked. Social QR is a one-stop shop for personal and business social media users to have all your social media in one place. Easy to set up, easy to share, and fully customizable, with your own custom QR code suitable for digital and print media.
Jiminy crickets, so now it'll be as tidy as my web browser?
So don't forget, Billy, that's socialqr.xyz. And Billy, take down the Justin Bieber posters.
Aww.
Every day, Richie has to drive 2 miles to bum tobacco from his friends. With your generous donation of only $19.20 a week, Richie won't have to sponge from his friends. Text Richie to 5210342 759126089 so we can finally tell Richie to piss off.
From its rich traditions beginning when the first AM radio transmission was broadcast in the year 1900 to present day, where radio is still the most listened to form of media and the number one source for people of all ages to enjoy their favorite music and discover new artists. Sure, the technology has changed, but the concept has stood the test of time throughout history. From the end of World War II,
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
to the falling of the Berlin Wall.
Our top story. The Iron Curtain between East Germany and West Berlin has come tumbling down.
To the U.S. entering the War on Terror.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night, and God bless America.
Generations across the world are united by music as it transcends all language barriers. It brings everyone on planet Earth closer together. We at iStreamRadio.ie understand what radio has done for the world and would like to thank radio for its 100 plus years of service. Radio has been here through thick and thin. Thank you, radio.
Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine. And at last, we create what you will. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Let us create it. When the virtual world of the internet, ideas, dreams, and concepts have become a reality, now is the time to bring your idea to the digital world. MilestoneMedia.ie offer a full range of digital services such as web development, hosting, audio, and visual services. Inspiration has a new platform. MilestoneMedia.ie. Experience the difference.
Tired of getting more screwed over than your cousin Jesse's pig? Sick of those uppity cowboys over at the Irish Insurance Federation? Is your vehicle being overpriced because it's undervalued? Does your annual quote leave you feeling sicker than the morning you woke up beside your sister? Well, leg it down to Leggett Insurance. Leggett Insurance is the answer to all your insurance needs. Bored off the road? No problem. Old lady turf you out and you gotta move your collection of lawn art? That's okay. Underage? Well, shit, that ain't your fault. Our unique style of cover provisions includes a real insurance disc to put in your windshield and the understanding that if something goes wrong, you use our groundbreaking policy. Run as fast as you can before anyone gets your wrench. The golden rule is to make sure you pick up any bits of your car left behind so you can't be identified. Your one-off payment of $29.99 annually provides all of the above. And for an additional $40, we provide you with a full windscreen worth in your very own Leggett disc holder. Just call us on 2800 Yeehaw! That's 2800 Yeehaw! Sail through that checkpoint today! Itchy, smelly scrotum getting you down. Worried about ball sweat on the dance floor? Well, worry no more. New sandalwood and lavender-scented man-ponds has your nutsack covered. Our unique smell-inhibiting fibrous wadding ensures your most repugnant odors are kept to yourself. So next time she drops the hand, you can feel confident it's not into a vat of nut soup. And don't forget, you can be the sweetest smelling stud in the nursing home with new Man-Ponds Twilight Edition for seniors. Order our economy size 86 pack today on manponds.org. Man-Ponds, because you don't need to smell any worse.
The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
And you're very welcome back to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it got heated before the break, would you? No.
No. We've stopped with the heat. But what I'd like to do is, I'd rather have somebody in here to argue with me from the community.
Or just to explain more about their own life.
Their own experiences of it. But what I will say is the eye rolling it causes online.
Yeah.
Because there's people, like, my biggest gripe with it all is the over-representation online, where every company sees the marketing avenue on it. It's like when you have...
It's great to appear decent.
Yeah, it's great to appear decent, but where you'd have Sony, Sony PlayStation.
Yeah.
When it was Gay Pride Month, everything was rainbowed. But then when
apart from countries where it's illegal.
Apart from countries where it's legal. So if you were
It's
in...
tokenistic.
It's tokenistic, exactly. So if you were in China, you just saw the normal Sony logo. If you were in Russia, you saw the normal Sony logo. If you're anywhere in Africa, normal Sony logo.
So then you're talking about tokenistic capitalism. Like, that's a completely different topic.
Yes, exactly. It is, but they all rub shoulders with each other. The ideas all rub shoulders. And I'd rather come out and go...
No, you can't say someone's lived identity is the same as a tokenistic gesture.
But when somebody's taking their lived identity as a selling point
Can I
for their
read out a
product...
comment from Frank, you guys?
Oh yeah, actually you should have read out the comments, yeah.
Sorry, Frank says, what if transgenderism is a call to an emotional link to a past life, in the same way some people have a picture format? Memory of past lives or gifts to abilities that just seem natural, if you believe in reincarnation, that is.
And that's if you're talking about the metaphysical.
Yeah, I agree, Frank.
Yeah. But unfortunately, we're buried in fact
What
here
about
tonight.
cultures like I don't know, the Native Americans, the Indigenous Americans, where they have like 3 genders? They have the male, the female, and 2-spirit.
Yeah,
and they also have India.
Yeah,
India for a long time there has been we'd call them drag queens here, but they've been they're held in high regard over in India.
Yeah, and then there's that thing with the boys in Afghanistan where they kind of parade them around, and I think it's southeastern Afghanistan. It was kind of a tradition with the shepherds.
Can we just say that there are other cultures where things are thought about differently?
Oh yeah,
and these aren't new ideas by any stretch.
No.
But they're millennia old.
But let's talk about the repercussions of becoming post-operative transgender. There are repercussions.
Not if it's completely successful and nobody can tell.
No, first of all, to your physical well-being. Because I wanted to get around to the suicide letters that I had read. Now, of course, it's not all of the letters. Some of them were, I was bullied, X, Y, and Z, I'll never be accepted as a man. But the vast majority of these suicide notes was, I had the operation, I still feel like a man. I may have cut bits of my body off, but I still feel like me. I thought I was going to feel like a woman.
But
so what they're trying to achieve is unachievable.
So
but I think someone who ends up in that position possibly didn't have enough talk therapy before it, because that's very expensive, and there's a cost gatekeeping on that,
especially some people are just saving up for the surgery because it's all they can afford.
Yeah, and it could be still 70,000 for them to get the fucking surgery. It's not cheap.
And do you believe that something like that should be on a medical card in this country?
No,
to have a
I think the therapy should be on the medical card, but the surgery shouldn't.
Okay, what do you think?
Mental health is way up.
Nah, I think the therapy should be there from the outset, absolutely. And if it gets to a point where doctors are like, right, this is the only way forward, then it should be available. I don't think people should be kept from necessary healthcare.
But the problem with the world we live in is you would sooner have a suicide booth in every town than you would an open walk-in mental health clinic.
Remember, you're on about that, the mental health mobile,
that's right, yeah.
They go around door to door for the pregnant women there. Do you remember?
I'm so confused about the transgender issue, because whilst I feel...
I think you should go out and, like, I don't know, hang around panty
Immerse
bar with
yourself.
dolphins again or something.
Look, dude, I've been in the George many times.
Yeah, I know,
it's great
but-
crack.
yeah.
I have gay friends. I have I wouldn't call transgender friends. I know transgenders.
That's another gripe I have when it's LGBTQ, like when they bunch everybody
LGBTQIA+.
together. I don't agree with that because there's lesbians and there's gay people.
And you know the
whatever.
P is on the way.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
P
You can
is up
fuck
there-
off.
there's pushes
no,
on the way,
No,
man.
no, no. That all comes from fucking trolls online trying to just stir
Oh,
shit.
No,
well,
Germany.
No.
Germany.
Because
Yes, thank you,
There-
Germany.
Germany.
And Todd,
No.
Todd Nickerson. Have you heard of Todd Nickerson? What a
There's
terrible name, by the way, for a
absolutely-
paedophile.
There's
Nick, your son.
absolutely fucking no one within the LGBT community that accepts harm to children as
Absolutely, and I totally agree. But
There's
the problem,
no one. No,
but the
no.
problem is, bandwagon politicians
Not in the slightest.
are now jumping on the bandwagon and saying, "Well, we should include these people,"
No.
because if indeed
No, they're
that,
not.
if
I
indeed
think you're full of shit.
No, but if
I'm getting riled up.
good, if a person, if their sexuality is a construct of social, it's a social construct. This is what you believe, yeah?
Well, no, like if you're looking at people who fucking are paedophiles, like generally they've either been raped themselves as children and it's some weird
I agree.
fucking fault of that, or they're fundamentally fucked up like.
Okay, but do you or do you not agree, or at least concur, that a paedophile doesn't ask to be a paedophile? They are just that. That is their
You can
sexual
say-
orientation.
You can say everyone's orientation is their orientation, whatever
Exactly.
about it. But
So why should we not invite them into the fold?
Because their orientation requires the
harm.
rape.
Yes, it does.
They want to have
no
non-consensual sex.
Absolutely. So why don't we then lower the age of consent so paedophiles can go around
What
fucking all
the
the...
fuck
Exactly.
are you on about it? I'll walk
Exactly.
out of here right now if you keep up with
Exactly,
this.
because I'm getting into mental territory. Because the point is, and I'm trying to make a very valid
man.
point.
Just let him talk.
I am,
Bear
I
with
am,
me.
I'm
Bear with
just-
me. The valid point in all of this is, where do we draw the line?
At consent.
Okay.
And informed,
Germany,
appropriate consent.
in Germany, the age of consent is 14. In
Right.
Africa, it's like it doesn't exist.
Way too
When you say Africa,
That's a continent
it's a
for
continent.
start.
Exactly.
The biggest
So-
continent on the planet with
Yeah.
the most countries in it and the most people. Let's just stay away from it.
My
because
problem
from
is,
a Western world that never fucking visited there.
you are going to have people who want to put that P on the end of the LGBTQIA, whatever.
and it'll never be accepted.
No,
But look what
It'll
we've
never-
accepted. Look what we've accepted so far. We've accepted so much. We've become so damn tolerant that I think we've become too tolerant to the point. Because I've heard people defend paedophiles. I've heard them do it on air. I've heard them on
I
radio
have too.
so many times. Now, if I met a paedophile who's never raped a child, I'm not going to do a thing to that person. I would actually tip my hat to them because they've actually staved off their sexual intentions towards a child and didn't do that. There's a difference between a paedophile and a child molester.
Yeah.
Big difference, huge
yeah,
difference.
Yeah, I can separate where you're
You know.
going with this. And like, if someone puts their hand up and goes into fucking therapy before causing any harm,
Mm-hmm.
then they shouldn't be ostracized from society, but just watch really fucking closely.
And there it is. Can we bring a paedophile in who their orientation is a child and fix them? Because that's exactly the same as telling a gay person to pray the gay away. It is the very same thing.
No, it's not. Because with a gay person to pray the gay away, you're asking them to become straight and to live a fucking heterosexual.
And this is what we're asking paedophiles to do.
No, we're just fucking chemically castrating them. Hopefully.
Why? Because they didn't choose that?
Yeah,
they
but
didn't
they're-
choose it,
but
and
they're
they've
a
never
risk.
raped a child.
It
They've
doesn't-
never
Yeah,
raped
but
a
they're a
child.
risk.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a risk to every woman.
Yes.
You're a risk to
Yeah,
every
you
woman.
can be.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
The difference
don't do
is women can consent, children can't.
Well, we've covered that.
Hmm.
You know, I am a risk to every woman because I could rape if I wanted to rape.
You could if you wanted to, but you
fuck's
also
sake.
have
But
the
not-
avenue where you can go and meet them and chat them up and engage
I
with
don't.
them.
Like, are you? Like, no, hang on a second.
Go ahead.
Like, I want to dive into what
Deep
you
breaths.
just. Yeah.
Deep
I
breaths.
want to dive into what you just said there. You just announced you're a risk to every woman. Do you
Yes.
fundamentally believe that?
No.
He's saying it hypothetically
I
as an
know.
example. He
Yeah.
doesn't
I know,
mean
but
it.
he's full of shit. Like.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you think that every paedophile is a risk to
Yeah.
children? How is that making sense? How does that make sense?
Because their sexual orientation is preying on the innocent.
Yeah, but what if they don't have sex with a child?
That's their sexual preference.
I-
They're creating a world of trouble for
Yeah.
themselves.
Before when the show started, I said this evening, and when we were talking about my sex life, You know, I haven't had sex in fucking ages because
God love you.
I just
Hard
genuinely,
lockdown, isn't it?
I genuinely just don't give a shit about sex right now. Right, so that's within me. I can stave off sex. If somebody was to open their legs on that table right now, I can actually turn around and go, no. So why can't the paedophile do the same? Because they're still people.
They don't have willpower.
They are politicians. They are judges. They are Gardaí. They are nurses. They are doctors. They are all integrated into our society. And it's that whole thing, good. Is there all evil and is there all good? No, we're all a mixture of good and bad. That's what it is.
Comment.
So can you trust a paedophile in a room with a child?
No.
Can you not?
You can't.
So why can you trust a man in a room with a woman?
Because at least the woman can probably throw a slap with her
Defend
few keys in her
herself.
fist.
So that's the only thing, is that the woman can defend herself.
At the very least, yeah. Or at least might be more aware of a dangerous situation.
Whereas
Like,
the
in all
child
fairness-
wouldn't.
No, in fairness, like, would you accept a fucking convicted rapist in the room with your sister?
No, not a hope. I wouldn't accept a paedophile in a room
No,
around a
no,
kid.
I'm talking about an adult, probably man, that rapes adult women.
No.
Would you accept that in a room with any?
Absolutely not.
Do you know what I mean? It's the same fucking crack.
If Richie turned around and said to me, Aiden, listen, I have a secret. I'm a paedophile. I like kids, but I've never touched a kid in my life. And I had a child. There's not a hope in God's
You let Richie
green
around
earth
him, yeah.
that
yeah.
I would allow my children around
And
Richie.
that's fucking perfectly normal.
But it is perfectly normal. But
Yeah.
what we're doing is we're over exaggerating the point. Because what we're saying is that a paedophile can't control their sexual urges, but a man can.
But a man can't. That's why
And
you
a
have
woman
rape culture,
can.
and that's why women are fucking.
But I just said I have the ability to go out and rape, and you were like, "Did you really?" No, I don't, because I'm a person.
Yeah.
Exactly, but that was the point you brought forward, so I'm going to challenge it.
It's not a very good challenge.
It's not a very good point either, though.
No,
But how is it not a good point?
because it's a shit point.
Pedophilia, the whole root of it is wrong.
Are you a paedophile?
No.
So how do you know?
What?
How do you know?
Because I have children, and if you try...
How do you know?
What?
Because this is what I wanted to talk about.
How do I know what?
What the difference between right and wrong?
How do I know the difference between right and wrong?
Yeah. Who said it was wrong to have sex with a child?
Anybody ever.
Yeah,
Who
everybody.
wasn't a
Morality
paedophile.
is
It's
generally
subjective.
No, it's generally self-evident.
And subjective.
No, it's generally self-evident. Like if you look at all the major, okay, so you could say it like religion, right? Mm-hmm. There's 100,000 religions around the world. They generally all have the same core rules of like don't kill, don't rob, don't rape, whatever, you know. So like with that, you have a moral compass being imparted upon everyone. Now there's different, slightly social rules, like, you know.
But you know, lads, the two of you are very clever. So I'm trying to get my head around how you're not getting your head around what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if I can not rape a woman,
Yes.
then surely a paedophile cannot rape a child.
But see, the whole
But
thing about
the fact-
pedophilia is it's so subversive.
Said who?
The way
way
they
they
act.
How?
Because it's all secretive online dealings.
Vast majority of paedophiles haven't never been caught.
Yeah.
They've
They're
never
so
been caught.
subversive.
But exactly, so they're
They
so
go on holidays to the fucking Philippines or something.
exactly, and they're so integrated into our society, and we think them as normal people. They could be a judge in the town here. They could be anybody.
I know somebody whose dad was a paedophile
Okay.
and got convicted.
I think we're talking.
Yeah,
about,
yeah, dealing
the same.
child porn online,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Nobody fucking knew a thing. Their own family didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
When the house got raided, he said, "Oh, a bit of hash," and nothing was said until it came out through the courts
Then he
in the
had loads of
papers
porn.
that he was a big figurehead
Mm-hmm.
in dealing online child pornography. And the groups you get into that he was in, you only get into by submitting original work.
Okay, so
You know what I mean?
he deserves to be put in prison and kept away from society.
No, he's out walking around.
Right, but he deserves to be in
Deserves to
prison.
be, but he's not.
And kept away from society, civil society.
Hmm.
But I would consider, there's that guy Todd Nickerson who was over in the States, and he's an advocate for paedophiles.
Oh, he's one of these minor attracted people. That's their acronym, by
If
the way.
you-
That's the fucking acronym they try and
Was it?
twist into LGBT.
Yeah,
like,
was it?
Minor attracted
Oh, for
person.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, no,
But-
you know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking pedophile.
If you look up Todd Nickerson, anybody's at home, look him up now, you'll see a picture of him. He is exactly what you think a paedophile is going to look like.
Yeah.
He's a one-armed guy with a claw on his hand. But he said, he went on many radio stations, he said, I've never raped a child, I've never molested a child. He said, yes, I have coveted them, I have looked at them. He said, and I've masturbated about them, but I've never actually committed a crime.
I just want to swing back to the point you were making there about raping women and how, like, you know, you have the ability or whatever, but you
You
never
can't
would,
rape
right?
Amanda Nunes or Ronda Rousey. They will fuck you up.
Say that to
No,
a
no.
handful of still knocked.
No, but like the fucking difference is, right? So you're attracted to women, and you're saying you'd never rape one.
Yes.
Because you have the opportunity to go out and meet one that will be attracted to you.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
You can never go out and meet a child that'll be attracted to you because that's just illegitimate.
Yeah, I get that. That is a really valid point. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. But that is an amazing point. But they were trying to bring sex dolls into this country a number of years ago that were the size of kids, freaky, plastic, weird child sex dolls. And there were psychologists and psychiatrists going on radio stations saying, this is a great thing, it'll prevent the rape of children, blah, 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 blah. But everybody just couldn't get their heads around the whole thing. It is an orientation. I am convinced that pedophiles, it is an who the fuck would want to choose to be a scumbag?
A lot of people do it.
The worst people in society. They are the worst.
Jimmy Savile. He fucking made a few decisions.
But did he decide to be attracted to a child?
As much as to an 87-year-old, probably.
Give me a food you don't like the taste of.
Broccoli.
I like a lot of food, man.
Something you don't like the taste of. Something that you went, oh fuck no.
Oh, pate.
Pate. Okay.
Oh, what? It's amazing.
Right.
Pate is lovely, but I love pate.
No.
But did you choose to not like pate?
No, it's just the way his palate works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't choose that exactly the same way you never chose your sexuality.
True.
And it's the exact same way a paedophile doesn't choose their sexuality.
But you've talked enough.
Go ahead, Richie. Go ahead.
Sure, they didn't choose it. Right. Sure.
Maybe
sure, that guy that took his eyes off the road for 2 seconds, he didn't choose to plough into 6 pedestrians and kill them all, right? But you suffer the consequences of your actions.
100%.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you are attracted to children, keep it to your fucking self. Keep
No,
it
get
to
help.
yourself.
Can we read out a few comments, you guys?
Yeah.
In a minute.
You keep it to yourself. Go get help.
Yes.
But do not announce it publicly because you're painting a target on yourself. And will get misconstrued and you will get your door bricked and
I
nobody
agree.
will want anything to do with you. There are people out there that are weird. There's people out there that are different. I do not judge a man for lying with a man the same I do not judge a woman for lying with a woman. If you want to change genders, go ahead. But do not enforce your bullshitology on me. Right? I will take everybody at face value. I'll say hello sir to a man, hello ma'am to a woman. I will take you as you're presented. If you're in between and I can't tell, I'll go with my best guess.
Yeah.
But don't get offended at somebody else that you don't know, not knowing what you are.
Exactly.
And then correct them, say, I have pronouns that must be adhered to. Like that Sam Smith guy. I think he's doing the biggest amount of harm to a movement.
To the transgenders.
He's doing, because he wants everything his own way.
Yep.
But
And
he's a bit of a diva anyway.
that's what I'm saying. He is a diva. But not every transgender wants to be front and center stage. They're very quiet people that just want to carry on their lives, living it the way they want to
I know
live.
gay people who say the gay pride parade is one of the worst things that could represent them.
Yeah, because it's the fucking absolute antithesis of how they feel themselves. They
It's a
don't want to-
rebellious thing. It's like, we couldn't do this for years. Now we're going to rub it in your face.
Yeah.
But sure, the first
But there's
Pride was a riot.
Yeah, but the
Was
lot.
it?
Yeah.
The first Pride was a riot at the Stonewall pub in New York, and the first person who threw a brick at it was a black transgender woman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I can't remember. I'm really bad. I feel really shit now. Her name is not coming to me.
But what I'm getting to you
yeah.
with is that there's been homosexuality active for millennia,
And
right?
pe-
But it
and
was always
pedophiles.
a best kept secret of a gentleman's club.
This is very true.
And there was a famous, I can't remember his fucking name, but he said it was the worst thing we ever did was coming out and open. He said it was so much more fun when it was a secret. He said we could go home to our wives and kids and live our normal lives.
Look what happened to that poor Alan Turing.
Yeah. But like,
Oh, that's disgusting, man. For a man that saved
The
fucking
world.
Western world.
He's the biggest hero that has ever come across this planet.
Yeah.
The biggest hero. He has saved more lives than anybody combined.
go on.
You know who Alan Turing is? He's the guy who invented the
Enigma breaker.
Yeah, the digital computer. He invented
Yeah,
the
yeah,
computer. Benedict Cumberbatch played him in The Imitation Game.
Yeah.
So basically, because he was gay and because he sucked a bit of dick, he was then medically castrated
After he won the war.
after he won the fucking war.
See, what happened was after they broke the Enigma machine, they used statistics to work out what the impact of intervening in a particular German action would be.
Yeah.
If it was like a low impact, like if the German action was only going to take out a couple of tanks or something, they'd be like, right, let that go ahead. If it was one that was going to bomb an entire town, they'd interrupt it. And so by this, like, they kind of hid the fact that they were breaking their code every day, all the time.
So they couldn't tell that they were being actively tapped.
Yes.
Exactly,
Yes,
yeah.
They just think, oh, they got lucky on
Have
this
you
one.
seen the movie? No. Watch the
Watch
movie.
it, it's really good.
But if you could read the book, it's better.
Is it?
Yeah, there's the Alan Turing Diaries, I think it's called.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
it's
sad
much,
with Alan
much better.
Turing. What I'm saying is, homosexuality, it's around. People have been doing it. I am all for people doing what they want to do behind closed doors. My biggest gripe with all this is how it's being represented on social media. It's becoming polarized, and it's a non-issue pushing its way into the issue.
But does everybody not deserve representation?
No. Not
Really?
if it's not.
They do if they fucking
you don't
vote for it.
No, there should be no representation of something that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, completely irrelevant politically, what way people want to do whatever with their own bodies. You want to be a woman? Go be a woman. But don't politicize it. Don't involve the government in anything, because all they do is fuck it up.
That is a very good point. And Meg has a couple of comments or something she wants to read out over there.
We'll go with Daniela first, ladies first. She goes, will someone hit Aiden with a microphone on the head? Like. JJ says, but this makes me wonder, like people turn gay overnight. Think back to last week, there was a topic of some guy who randomly turned gay. Is that the same with paedophilia? You're fine one day and the next you just want to have sex with kids. General rule, don't trust anyone around your kids. And then the pimps smoking inside now.
Well, I hate that general rule. Don't trust people around your kids.
No, I'd be an advocate of that.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely fucking not. Because you know the whole
You'd be wary, all right.
stranger danger?
It's a healthy mechanism.
No, it is not. No, it is
No,
not.
it
No,
is.
it's not. It's a mechanism of fear in the exact same way the whole COVID thing is. Trust me, it is. Because the vast majority of children who are molested or raped is done by somebody they know, a family member. And that is not stranger danger. It's normally strangers who come to their help. So what you're teaching kids are, everybody's dangerous, everybody's going to rape you, everybody's going to hurt you. Bullshit. It's normally the people who love you are the ones who are the scumbags.
Well, they're just the ones, like, if you
Fair
look
point.
at someone in that primal fucking predatory way, like, you know, they're looking for any route of access to what they want. So they're going to lean on any fucking leverage they have.
They
to get
see
access.
a chance, they'll take it. If they'll work out the odds in their head, and they'll act. But
I don't find that it would be necessary for everybody.
Right. Let's have an example.
I don't think it
right?
would.
Nightclubs. Remember when nightclubs were a thing?
I very rarely
Last
frequented
year?
them.
Yeah, last year, right?
yeah. But like, you know the way there'd always be like 16 and 17-year-olds sneaking into the club with a fake ID or
Ah,
whatever.
yes, yeah.
And you'd always have that weirdo. And he'd probably be about maybe 8 or 9 years older than
he's
them.
hunting for them.
Yeah, plying them with drink.
Playing them with drink. Come on, I'll give you a lift home.
Yeah.
Finger blasted in a car park against their will.
Yeah. Do you know, like, it's that same shit. Like, there's, you know, just because there's...
But on the other end of the spectrum, how do you feel about people who, let's say a young girl who's 16 years of age, 15, 16 years of age, who looks older than she actually is?
Didn't they make a movie about that?
Maybe, I'm not sure. Because I don't know there were stories in the newspapers.
But there's a lot of
about
grooming
this.
around that issue. Like, you have a girl, right?
There's
She'd
no,
be like
just
that.
let me finish my point. So you have this girl, she goes into a
You
nightclub,
won
she's
that groupie.
16.
That groupie that followed and they made the movie about your man with the typewriter.
Almost Famous.
That's the one.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you have to watch that.
But this girl goes in, she sees a guy, he's 24 years of age. They hit it off. She looks a lot older than she actually is. Then he has sex with her, he brings her home and has sex with her. The following day, he finds out that she's 15 years of age. He is still under the remit of statutory rape.
Yeah, straight out of Train Spotting, like.
So, do you find that man should be charged with statutory rape even though he was lied to about the girl's age?
Unfortunately, yes, because that's how the law works.
Yeah.
What?
It's the law.
Yeah.
It's statutory. It's statutory.
It's not about consent.
It's not about that. It's the law was broken.
But he's a victim as much as she is.
Yes, and unfortunately,
didn't
he's
do-
getting done because
Well, then
didn't
the
do
law
it-
sucks dick.
the law does suck dick.
Two
He
new
do-
comments, guys.
Yeah,
Wanna
hold
call them
on.
out?
No,
He didn't do
wait.
his due diligence on who he was talking to.
Dude, come off it.
No, listen.
No.
No.
Due diligence, my arse.
Yeah, no,
Even if he was
you're-
lied to, even if it's 100% her fault, he is still violating the statute.
I
Yeah,
understand that.
absolutely.
I totally get that. But I'm not asking about the statute. I'm asking, do you think that he should be
Oh,
punished?
in my opinion,
Yes.
no, he shouldn't be punished. But as the law of the land lies, he's fucked.
Yeah.
And what about you, in your opinion?
In my opinion, like, I think that's a fucking shitty situation to end up in.
But-
And, look, fuck it. If a case is brought against him, he's fucked.
Yeah, but do you think he should be charged? In your opinion?
That's up to his barrister.
No, in your opinion. This is all about you.
He's been completely
He's
lied
been
to.
duped by this girl.
Then I don't think he was a fucking willing participant in it.
Exactly. And there's over in the UK, there was this particular girl, she was between 14 and 15, and she was a serial one of these,
Like,
whatever.
See, like,
she was doing it all
in
the time.
In a criminal case, right? You have two things: you have your mens rea and your actus reus. You have your intention and the act. Like,
Yeah.
do you know? So while he had the act, if he didn't have the intention of fucking grooming an underage girl, then you can't say that he had the fucking whole thing.
Well, she was grooming him, technically lying about her age.
Exactly.
But the statute was broken.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that.
And that's why it's statute.
But this is why I'm looking for your opinion on it, because I find that situation rather unfair.
It is unfair, and life's unfair.
Okay, life sucks.
Yeah.
Megan, you said you had a couple of comments over there.
Sorry, dude. Stop being wrong, Aiden from JJ.
Can't help it, JJ. It's my natural default.
Never.
Next we have Katie. Rich is going to be political because it comes into prisons, hospitals, sports, for example. There needs to be a place where people are safe. And then Frank Durkin has a long one here. One sec.
All Frank.
I know, I love him. The preference of age is not, I repeat, not a sexual orientation. That is the BS line when they are using to argue that they should be discriminated by their sexual orientation. Not the back of the specific way brought back by gay marriage. It was made out discrimination based on the sexual orientation.
Yes.
And now the paedophiles are trying to join themselves with the LGBTI plus community and gain leverage.
Good man, Frank.
Good man, Frank.
They are,
is right,
absolutely,
man.
and this is my point from the very get-go.
He made an excellent point
Shout out
there,
Frank.
which was in the context of the legislation on the Gay Marriage Act, that you cannot be discriminated against for your sexuality. And
But that was already part of anti-discrimination laws under, like, occupation of work and all that kind of shite, like.
If you had a very clever barrister and you had a lot of money and you were a dirty paedophile, you could try and swing the legislation. You could try.
You could try, but there's no fucking judge in the land. There's no judge in the land.
But the judge on the land can't supersede legislation, nor can he supersede the constitution. So,
and if they lay the case forward in front of a jury, it's all about how it's played on the day in court.
It really is, and that's a great point that Frank brought
was
up.
a very good point.
This is why I brought the paedophile element into this.
Can I say one thing for the sake of this conversation and my own sanity? Can we fucking just get off the pee subject?
Please.
It's really making me uncomfortable in my skin.
It really does make you uncomfortable because we've had this conversation many times before. But it's a relevant conversation.
Yeah, but I'm all for the running.
I'll tell you why. Because I just said something there about the stranger danger that a lot of people don't realise. That the vast majority of children who are raped by their mother, their father, their brother, their sister.
By someone known to them, right?
So
okay, and a stranger's just a friend you haven't met.
Yeah. This is why people need to keep their eye on their children in their home, not just outside. Because what you said actually, ticked me off. That the whole stranger danger thing.
Yeah, but see, some people don't have the choice. If a single mother would call her Linda, and Linda has 2 daughters, Caitlin's 12 and Michelle is 8. These are all fake names, fake people. Just a completely hypothetical scenario. Linda has to work 9 to 5 Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
The only person that can mind the kids is Larry, and Larry lives 2 doors down in number 17. So Larry comes up and keeps an eye on the 2 girls, and the 12-year-old goes off to a friend's house, and Larry's left on his own with the child. Poor old Linda.
Was it?
That's why I picked Larry. Poor old Linda's away at work, thinking, Larry's minding the child. He could be in there slowly grooming that child every day. You never fucking know. But some people are pushed and they're put in these scenarios where, it was okay at the start and he was grand at minding the kids. You know what I mean? There's an Australian film called Snowtown, and it's about this exact scenario. This is how the film starts, with this exact scenario: neighbour looking after your one's kids. And it's just really uncomfortable. But I'm just saying,
but see,
not everybody
as Jordan
has the privilege.
Peterson
We just say Hard Candy's a better movie.
Actually, it is. As Jordan Peterson said, real topics worth talking about are uncomfortable topics.
Oh, they are, right? Well, I think we've talked about. We know how everybody feels.
Yeah, we do. But we don't know how everybody feels. Because we're backing and forth on things that we should all be concurring on. We should all be saying, we should all be agreeing with each other, because the reason why I brought up paedophiles is because they're now trying to attach their names to the LGBT.
Yeah, I'm completely against them getting
which I'm so against.
Any footing.
Any footing.
They're never going to get footing in that. They're never going to get footing in that.
But dude, look at what's happened so far. There's so many things that has been jammed into 10 years that we never thought possible.
There's a huge fucking difference between saying 2 lads can get married and have a fucking tax credit.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I know. I don't know. I think people are that stupid that they will fall
They're
for
not.
this.
No one is that stupid.
1988. What's his name? The black dude, comedian Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
He done Raw, 1988. Listen to it. It's the queers this and their the fucking thing keeps going off.
No, it's under here, man.
Is it?
There's still a huge fucking difference between consenting adults and child molestation. Can we just
Are we okay?
please
Yeah, we're
separate
right.
those
That's
two fucking
Yes,
things?
absolutely. They're totally separate
No,
things.
because they've been drawn in together far too much in this conversation.
No,
I'm not happy
but
with
there's
it.
a reason why I'm drawing them together. So in 1988, Eddie Murphy done this. It was the queers, they have AIDS, they all should die, blah, 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 blah. Now look at where we're at. We're in this tolerant society where we tolerate things and understand that there's
So
nuance.
like you're homophobic
and
is what
there's-
I'm getting from this.
No, me.
Yeah. That's the way you're talking right
I'm
now.
the least homophobic person in
so
the
true,
world.
yeah, he is.
I'm the
Isn't he
least
sounding
homophobic.
Isn't he sounding pure homophobic like?
No.
Maybe to you, but I know him, so I get him, kind of thing.
Yeah, okay,
No,
fair enough.
no,
I'm new,
So
don't mind me.
what is it? What is it that I'm saying that you're misunderstanding? What do you think that I'm saying that I could be
Because
saying
you're
better?
saying, because we allow this, we'll allow that.
No, yeah, but
That's what I'm hearing.
Ah, but when you say we, you're putting yourself into a group identity because you're bisexual. I'm not talking about we as in a group of gay people. I'm talking about we as in society in general.
I'm talking about society in general, nothing to do
That's
with
who
your
I'm talking
orientation,
about.
like.
I'm talking about every one of us. At some stage, some asshole's going to come forward, some politician, and go, we should give paedophiles rights. What? Mark my
Yeah,
words.
rights to a fucking gun.
Mark my words, it's going to happen.
Rights to some lead, yeah.
Yeah.
Fast way. But
Well, look, to be
If
fair,
you-
if they come forward like that, it's just they deserve a clean, like.
yeah, no, they're putting themselves up there and they're making targets out of themselves, in my opinion. Bestiality never got in on the LGBTIQPA2.
Yeah, man.
It never got in with the alphabet people because they wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
They wouldn't.
But there is so much talk around this. Maybe you're not aware of it.
No,
Maybe
no,
you're
I'm
not aware
I
of it.
am very
so
aware.
much aware of
It's
it.
all coming out of Germany.
It's all coming
And
out
it
of
always-
fucking nonsense.
Yeah, but
It's
Germany.
actually New York.
There's
as well.
studies. There were studies done. There was a sick bastard of a doctor in the 80s in Germany. I will find it for next week. I will find the experiment for you. But he thought that violent young orphaned males should be housed with paedophiles. And that they would develop a loving, caring relationship with each other.
That sounds
The
a bit Spartan.
suicides and the murders attached to that experiment. And the doctor who in charge of it walked. He made sure that in all the framework that was laid out beforehand, he couldn't be charged of a crime. And there was 8 murders. I think there was a handful of suicides. And then there was a whole lot of people in long-term care for being raped.
And he got away with it, like.
He walked
You can't remember his name, no?
Not
No,
sure
I'll
it's
find it.
085-2727-212. If anybody
German
knows the name
experiment
of
where
that
young men, disaffected
guy.
young men, were housed with paedophiles.
Can I
Yeah,
just
see,
get
like, all
back
of
to
that
the...
is just so fucking wrong.
It is so wrong.
Can I
It's
just...
like the mother and baby homes here.
Oh,
Do you know what I
dude.
mean?
Talk about that
No,
last
no.
week.
That was the thing was that idea was started in England.
No way.
It was
What,
the
the mother-
three
the
guys
mother and
who
baby
started
homes?
the mother and baby homes and all the industrial schools. They were 3 English entrepreneurial businessmen. And they, what's that thing George Soros has been, this thing where you have loads of money and
Philanthropy.
philanthropists.
Okay.
And they were looking at ways to make decent women out of prostitutes. So they were saying, well, if you're a prostitute and you fall with child and you can't work anymore, we'll give you a job and a roof and you can work your spirit clean so you can go to heaven. And that's where the mother and baby homes were born. And then when they did them in Ireland, then they realised, ooh, there's a lot of money to be made here.
Selling babies.
Not even selling babies, it's selling their labour.
Yeah.
But they were,
Laundries.
yeah, but they did sell the babies.
Oh, they sold the babies
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
They're big money.
Niall Boylan.
Yeah.
€500. Pounds he was sold for. £500.
Crazy.
And apparently there was a note stuffed into his nappy
Fuck's sake.
from his mother. Now, unfortunately, Niall's mother is mentally handicapped, and she, as far as we know, she was raped by a priest. And then she was put into one of these homes, and the baby was sold. Niall Boylan was sold for £500 to a family. Now, it was a loving family, and he done very well out of the family he went with. But that just goes to show the society we lived in back then. But I want to get back to the homophobic thing that you think I'm being homophobic.
By drawing the two of them in together,
But
I feel you
I'm
are.
not. I'm not drawing them together. This is my
No,
point.
your conversation is.
No.
And you're not even extrapolating the fact about what's being said in a wider context throughout society and how
I
you
am.
actually feel.
I am. I am. Unfortunately, I think that you're living in an echo chamber where you don't understand that there's so many people out there who are now moving this and pushing this forward as an actual issue. Politicians in the States are pushing forward the P in LG.
Who? Where? When?
There's
How?
a senator in New York who was pushing for it. There are advocates within the LGBT who are advocates of this. I've watched interviews. I've watched documentaries.
Aiden, this comes
Is that your man that fucking our Minister for Children was pictured with?
Roderick.
No. I know
was
who you're
different.
talking about. I know that guy.
That was a British author.
Yeah, it was.
That's right. He was actually recently on radio as well. What was the comment?
Sorry, Frank says here, proposed legislation already proposed politically in at least 4 countries, including UK, Germany and USA. Shot down, but they'll keep coming. All they need is one result.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Go on, Frank. Shout out, Frank. I love your comments tonight, man. Commenting everybody.
I would like to say that it is not me that's being homophobic. I am only saying what other people are saying.
It's just hearsay.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm passing on the information that there is a very dangerous group of people out there who are trying to weasel their way into the LGBT, and I fucking, mark my words, may not be in our lifetime, mark my words, them assholes will be accepted someday.
Do you want to see the more dangerous? There's a real dangerous context to this. That this exact sentiment was happening exactly 100 years ago in Central Western Europe, and it led to the rise of the Nazi Party. Because Europe got very, very liberal this time 100 years ago. Got very liberal, and France was the hotbed of what's the word? You know, this dropping of day-to-day standards. It's debauchery.
Okay.
It was just
Sodom and Gomorrah job.
And it happens. Civilizations crumble and rise and crumble and rise and crumble and rise.
Oh yeah, we're definitely.
And I think we're definitely on the decline on this one. Definitely on the decline.
So can you not at least?
Anytime gender becomes an issue, it's always at the very end of a civilization.
It is, and yes, you're dead.
And
right.
we've had so many waves.
You got that off Joe Rogan, by the way, because I heard that.
It was one of the guys he had on his podcast.
Yes,
but listen, I listen to podcasts all day, every day. I'm going to shout out Jerry, the Legion of Skanks, Tim Dillon,
Stephen Crowder,
and no, because he's not on at the minute, and fucking new Theo Vaughn, brilliant, and Brendan Shaw was below the belt, man. That's 6 podcasts. That's hours a day I'd be listening.
Well, there's I told you guys before on the show, I don't know whether you were on the show or heard it when I was talking about this particular story. Over in Taiwan, there was an Australian guy who went over to Taiwan.
That's already sounding dodgy.
He went over, he murdered a load of kids, he raped them, he videoed it, he done all sorts of nasty ass things. If you give me a gun and a bullet and a room with him in it,
just give me a couple of shoots of bamboo and a bit of rope.
I'm shooting that bastard. I'm shooting him in the head. But that type of behaviour, the whole Sodom and Gomorrah type of behaviour, is slowly creeping into our society. Promiscuity, sexuality, all different.
No, they are.
They are. You can't say promiscuity is the same as fucking rape or is the same as anything.
No. But it's the whole decline. There is a very clear decline.
I don't think there's a decline in that.
Look at Cardi B's WAP.
No, because,
look at that.
No, because I think what you're doing there is you're elevating Puritan standards to some fucking false pedestal because it's like,
where's the false pedestal?
That it's anyway at all better.
No, but
the
thing about Puritan standards is we need them.
No.
As much as we want to be free, but the thing is, there's always that
it's
kind
the
of
Puritan standards that led to mother and baby homes.
It is, but it's also the ones that led us to the Industrial Revolution, to the Renaissance. You know, there was.
Renaissance was a fairly liberal time.
It was, but
lots of titties out.
Lots of titties out, but there was lots of art and education, and it was all. I don't know why. I don't know why, but
because
religion.
It was after the dark. It was just as soon as the fucking Dark Ages ended.
Yeah, but what brought people to the Dark Ages was religion.
Yeah, exactly.
It also brought them into it.
Yeah. Heavy fucking handed religion.
Heavy handed, but we've a new religion at the minute. It's technology, and the new priests are Silicon Valley CEOs and influencers. I just want people to remember one thing: morals are needed.
But
morality is hugely important, and that's why, although
and our only source of morality is being stamped out of society.
No, it's not.
Can you not see? Can you not see? At the very least, there has been a decline in people's behaviour around sexuality and around how they present themselves to people, the way they dress, what they adhere to fashion-wise.
I would not see that as any sort of decline.
I see that as a decline.
I don't see that as a decline.
I see 14-year-old girls going out and shagging and getting fucking pregnant. I seen that as a decline.
But that fucking happened.
Yes, it did.
It happened all the time.
Not to the level of what it's happening now.
It's way more prevalent now.
It's way more prevalent now because here's the thing, because it's tolerated now. Now we're saying, these poor young girls are out there getting pregnant.
If you tolerate this, then
Richie,
your children will be next.
It's true. No, but
it's true.
See, I think there's a mismatch in that. While we're tolerating, we're saying that you won't get ostracized from society, you have to leave home or end up in mother and baby home.
Yeah.
I don't think that there is the social educational programs in place.
No, there's none. Education has gone down the fucking toilet because they're making people tick boxes instead of teach children.
Yes, 100%.
I remember when you went to school, if you had a problem with something, everything stopped until you got up to speed with everybody.
Yeah.
Now it's, right, you go off and we'll have someone come in and you fall by the wayside.
Yeah. No.
A remedial student.
Yeah.
Like, but education, but the thing about education was we got morals in school as well. You don't get morals in school anymore because people are afraid to raise other people's kids or put any idea in anybody else's head.
There is some simple fucking morality that doesn't need to be continued on.
You mightn't think that because you're such a good person, but I can tell you now there's substandard people out there creating even more substandard people, and they're
on a daily basis.
They're creating exponentially. Like you just say you've one bastard family in the 50s. They have 6 kids, then those 6 kids go on to make 18. Like, that's small numbers.
Yeah, you're looking at like 3 generations of people having no greater expectation of life than the dole.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And like the dole is there and it serves a great
Yeah,
purpose.
what was 2 bad people in the 50s is now 36 to 50 bad people now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so
again,
the decline, you have to concord that there is a decline in the society.
Yeah.
And what's
education programs are being defunded. People are like forcing themselves in through college degrees rather than accepting a trade as a valid fucking way of life.
And sexual
exploitation.
What's the when it's explicit? Expletivity? I don't know how
I don't know what word.
General erotica, like.
But it's the way that it's acceptable for 2 little 8-year-olds to dance to Cardi B's WAP. But you can't play Baby It's Cold outside of Christmas
so
time.
true.
Yes,
so true.
absolutely.
Talk about contradictory.
I honestly don't think that WAP is a suitable song for children.
No, it's not. But it's been sold to them.
It's been sold to them. Like Cardi B.
It's on the fucking radio. It's the same as that fucking Feeling Sexual song.
My sister.
There was a funny story about that actually.
My sister sent me. I think I have it on WhatsApp.
Let him talk. 'Cause he said he's a funny story.
Yeah,
You need to bring the fucking mood.
2 seconds. 2 seconds. There was my sister sent me a video, and it was of a little black kid. She could have been only 3, maybe.
A child of colour, you mean?
Black kids. There's nothing wrong with saying a black kid.
I'm only messing.
But she was doing that twerking thing, you know, where they move their ass. Now, who the fuck?
That's fine at home in your own sitting room. Do not video and put it on the fucking internet.
No, it's not even fine. That's the fact. The fact is, it's not fine for a child to be doing that. It is not fine. You should be teaching a child not to do that.
No, but see, kids will imitate what they see. And if she imitates it at home in front of the parents, that's fine. But as soon as she does it outside in front of somebody else, and somebody of a high moral standard sees that and is offended by it.
Indoors, you correct them. You correct the child and you say you don't do that. That's misbehaving. You should not be doing that. It's inappropriate.
But there's other idiots out there that'll film it and tag every fucking relation under the sun. Oh, look at her now. She thinks she's great. And there's people.
And there is the decline in society and people in general. Hence the reason why I said earlier.
You got to get them likes, man. You got to get them likes. You want to be an influencer. Big money in it. Like, get them shares.
Shake that ass.
That's a problem with TikTok as well, man.
People are getting more dumb.
People are being dumbed down by society, 100%.
Of course they are, because they've every fucking answer to every question in their pocket.
And they look at cat pictures.
They're not doing the thinking for themselves anymore. They're thinking through Google.
But they never did their thinking for themselves anyway.
No, I know you and me, we do the thinking for ourselves.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're of that generation.
Yes.
No,
I was having this conversation with Mr. Harris earlier.
There's plenty of people our age that do not do the thinking for themselves, man. They just float along as basic cunts.
We're on the cusp of the generational gap. Because
we can see both sides of it.
We like to Google cats all day, but we also figure shit out and contribute to society.
We try.
But where there was people that used to sit in that chair, Peter Pan syndrome, and it's not acceptable.
Hence the reason why Dr. Jordan Peterson says the best thing you can do in life is adopt as much responsibility as possible and grow up. Grow the hell up and be a productive human being.
10 years ago, I was a completely different person. I wouldn't have referred to myself now to then as a man. I didn't meet the standard of a man.
Yeah, same as.
All I wanted to do was do drugs, kick it with my mates, and not fucking do anything other than destroy and vandalise and have fun.
And sex.
Jesus, you've come a long way.
I've come a long, long way.
Really
but it's from the adoption of responsibility.
Yeah, you need to be aware of your own actions having consequences and how if you make positive actions you can get rewarded by society. And
not even rewarded, by your own brain.
Yeah.
The serotonin you feel when you do something good and you feel
Richie,
good.
What was the catalyst to your behaviour changing?
Yeah, what happened to you?
What happened?
Katie is what happened.
Katie, my wife.
All right.
So
Lifesaver,
so you're saying a more sensible person came along and said, do X, Y, and Z?
No,
or did you adopt?
No, I seen what good was there. I didn't believe in good before. I was very nihilistic. And then when I seen an avenue to happiness. It's like, shit, I'm not fucking this away.
So what you're saying is when you actually sat back and examined life, you saw it being
exactly
wasted.
Because I used to think, oh, I'm not going to be alive next year. I had no value in my own life. I would do anything. I remember skiing out the back of a van at like 60 miles an hour, standing on a frying pan, thinking this is the crack, so it is. Doing really ridiculous, reckless, life-endangering stuff. And it's great living like there's nothing to live for until you finally have something to live for. And
Did I see you jumping out of a moving van once on Patrick Street?
Yes, you did. That would have been me. Mr. Harris's Transit.
Sure, I was only talking to my sister last night on the phone, and she said to me, do you remember you had the Renault 21? I said, yeah. What we used to do was, my friend Sean would sit in the passenger seat, and he would do the gears and the steering wheel. And I would be under the footwell, down below, with my hands at the pedals, using my hands to do this.
You were fairly flexible to be able to, fairly small to get down there.
I know, jeez, I was only like 17,
a testament to the roominess of a Renault 21 footwell.
But there was a wall, and we would speed towards that wall, and at the last second they'd shout brake at me, and I would have to brake the car before we hit the wall. That tells you how retarded I was.
Very Darwinistic.
Oh yeah,
like, that was
those pedals go straight through your jaw, like.
But I mean, we were playing with fire, literally. And literally, we used to play with fire too, like making petrol bombs and burning stuff.
Well, like, you know, you have to learn every now and again.
So maybe I'm thinking behavior of kids these days has somehow transformed from doing the dangerous stuff, because we did the dangerous stuff when we were kids. Did you do the dangerous stuff?
I did, yeah.
So we did the dangerous stuff. Now they're doing something different.
They're way ahead of us, man. They're completely different.
I can't pinpoint what they're doing or what it is.
But even if you look at their neural maps of communication ability, like when I was my daughter's age, it was my first time interacting with a computer in a computer lab in school. Windows 95, Granny's Garden, baby.
Oh, what a game!
What a game! That was computers to us.
Was that? Did you have Clippy? Was Clippy there?
No, that was fucking
Clippy
Vista.
Later.
Was it later?
That was Vista.
So much later.
That was Windows Vista, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is Windows 95, man.
I remember it well.
Those big white boxes, the glow, the powering up. It is now safe to turn your computer off. Remember all that jazz?
Yeah.
Floppies, man. Internet was like, you picked up the phone and it made that horrible noise. You're like,
You're waiting for porn to load line by line.
Line by line.
I've done it. I have fucking done it. I've been there.
But where kids are now, they're so ahead of us. They know how to interface with these technologies so much more efficiently than we
You're
did.
saying ahead of us.
They're way... Because if you think about where we were at their age...
But we have things that we used in our life to bring us to where we are now that kids don't use anymore.
Because they're redundant.
So therefore, no, they're not redundant.
They don't even know what the save icon even means anymore.
No, they don't. I have a nephew who's 11 years of age, and he sat in front of my PC and he went, how do I use this?
Yeah.
He had no idea how to use a PC.
Because it wasn't a touchscreen.
Because it wasn't touchscreen.
Yeah.
I remember when touchscreens first came out, I was like, oh no, I'll never be able to do this.
Yeah.
Because it was
Do you remember when the phones were coming out and it was like, oh fuck, you're not getting rid of me buttons, like.
Yeah. Because you could text in your pocket.
Yeah.
You could literally know
where T9, man, you just knew where everything was.
Yeah, so click that 3 times, then click that once. So you knew where everything was. But the point is, children have changed so much from what we are now. But I think they've, is it digressed is the word I'm looking for?
No, but
They've
I think
backwards.
there's also there's modern values, they're cultural values that are imparted on our children.
Their knowledge is artificial.
Yeah, but you have to remember, we grew up in a very racist Ireland. Because there was no other races, especially, I'm talking outside of Dublin now. I didn't see a coloured person till I was 12.
Me too, yeah.
Right? Whereas my children don't get racism. They literally don't understand it.
Obviously because they grow up with it.
Because it's
really good.
It is really good. It's completely alien to them to think less of somebody because they're skin colour, because they just...
Dude, my best friend was an Indian when I was a kid. And I never knew he was...
you lived in Dublin?
But I never knew he was an Indian until we got much older. I never copped he was a brown kid.
Right, yeah.
He never ever dawned he was just another kid to me.
But that's what I'm saying. They're so far ahead of us because they don't have to shed all these negative passed down things.
Can I also point out that was my one and only ever gay experience. Was the
At least you've had one. You've tried it, man.
With the Indian kid next door. I think it was about 8 or 9.
It tastes like masala.
We crossed swords in the shed. So Jared O'Reilly, if you're listening, yes, I remember.
Kids do that, man. Kids do weird stuff when they're
you prick.
Get to a few comments?
Yeah, please do it, because we're going to a break then.
And we go to Frank first. Teach children how to be happy. Then find something that they could be happy doing every day. And then try making a living from it. They are arrows. We as the parents are the bow. We give guidance and direction. Schools should be based on this relationship of bow and arrow. And the reference of that fantastic quote was Cahill Gibran.
Would you come closer to your microphone?
Sorry, Teresa says we had a car full of guys in our town that did that when I was a kid. One guy survived.
Very good, Teresa.
Yeah, and then Frank says the education system takes what's individual about the individual out of the individual.
Yeah,
In short,
And it does.
It's like that picture you see of all the kids sitting down at the desk and the little
hillside.
thought bubbles, and the teacher going around cutting the thought bubbles into thought squares.
Do you know what? Look, I just wrote down education kids. The education system these days doesn't work. It's not producing what we need.
It's not inspiring thought in these kids.
No,
it's just
not.
getting them through the gates.
When I was in school, I was severely dyslexic. Like, I couldn't read an Anne and Barry book at the age of 14. I couldn't read words like "the" and "is." I had no idea.
It's hard for some people, man.
I really struggled.
The supports weren't in there that you needed, like.
But see, the thing was, there was zero support back then. There was no support whatsoever.
No.
There was no remedial
Just
class.
Eido's a tickle sticking
no
down the back.
classroom
It was
assistant.
send Aiden to do the photocopying while I do the rest of the class because he's too stupid for me to teach. But when I got into education was actually a lot later in life when I started to be interested in things.
Yeah.
And that's
your
what's-
natural intelligence fucking drove you forward.
Exactly. Whereas in school, I didn't have a natural interest. It was too much of a,
Well, it was just all fitting in the
regimental.
box. Yeah. It was all just fucking like, I know myself from being dyslexic as well, like that. Like when you're forced into these topics and subjects that don't really work for you, you're kind of just like,
You feel
I'm not
so
ar-
inferior.
Yeah.
So my
and
problem
you're
with
not
school
arsed.
was I had brains to burn. I had no social skills. So I quickly became the class clown because I was like, I can make friends and impress all these people by acting the absolute bollocks. And then the education fell to the wayside.
And that's what dyslexic children do all the time.
Yeah.
Because they're not at the same standard as their peers, what they do is they go, I feel really dumb, I feel stupid, I don't fit in with
So they're
these
going to
people.
act out like.
So they see a guy throwing a brick through a window and they go, that's easy. The bar is low there, I can get in there.
And then you get some social kudos from your peers.
Get that clout.
Here's a really true statistic that over in the States, in juvenile detention, I think it's 67% of children in juvenile detention are dyslexic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a massive issue.
If you could only get them at that young age, because my nephew Josh, I love and adore the child. He's an amazing little mind. He's so into his technology, but he does poorly in school. So I brought him up to Belfast to the observatory, and we had a day out for that. And it was this wide-eyed wonderment of, oh my God.
Because you had his interest.
Because it's the interest. If you can grab a child's interest, you can literally make them into the best person ever.
Absolutely, because every child just wants to be the best. They want to be accepted, they want to be loved, they want to be happy, they want to be social. Do you know, in their own way, like.
Some of the best encouragement I got from a teacher was a guy, he didn't like me and I didn't like him, but he imparted some serious fucking knowledge on me. It was 2 sentences. We're going through something, he goes, you're doing well. You want to know why you're doing well? You don't have a clue, but you have understanding, and it's understanding is the key to science. He says it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you had your first principles there. You understood the mechanics of it.
Exactly. If you can understand why this bond
You
is
can
a covalent
reverse
bond,
in-
why these pair like this, why it will pair like this in the presence of this other material. You know what I mean? How the
You can
electrons
then- yeah.
bond and how it pushes out a neutron. And all this. He just said, you don't have a clue.
What
You
was
don't
his
know
name?
what you... I don't want to say that out there.
Oh man, give him a shout.
Mr. Healy!
Mr. Healy. Yeah, he sounds like a decent dude.
Ed Harris's ex-father-in-law.
No.
Robin's granddaddy.
Is it?
Yeah. But he said, you don't have a clue, you don't know what you're doing, but you have the understanding. He says, that is the key to science. I want to stop and think, it's all about understanding. If you can understand what's going on, just once you have the understanding, it's the same with maths. I always struggled with maths because I didn't have the understanding. Because I wasn't looking for the understanding. I was just looking for the answer to get on to the next equation.
Exactly.
But once you have the understanding, it doesn't matter what equation you're doing.
Well, most of us have been lucky enough, very lucky, to have that one teacher who paid attention to you. And I keep on saying this, and I'll say it every fucking week. People need so little encouragement to get on in their lives. You know, I had Miss Hartnett, who, when I was in school, I was a dumbass. As I said, I was a complete and utter dumbass. And it was only that I loved computers. So when I was in the computer lab, that's when I started to learn to spell because of autocorrecting. I wrote a story.
I use that on my phone all the time to learn how to spell or to check spelling.
So do I.
Yeah.
But I wrote a story on the computer because I was interested in the computer, not really the story.
Yeah.
And she took this story and she presented it to the principal. The story was then presented to some competition.
Cool.
And I won first prize.
Nice.
Well done.
And the story was actually printed in a primary school book.
Deadly.
So it's somewhere out there. It is somewhere
You're
out there.
a published author.
But she was the only one teacher out of all of my teachers who paid a blind bit of attention to me, and I treated her like shit.
Why?
I don't know. I think I was just acting out because I just didn't fit in.
Fair enough.
But we're going to go to a break, Meg. Do you have any comments you want to go to?
No, not yet. No, that's it.
Okay, we're going to go to a break. So
Oh, Sagar is here. Sagar says, hey, guys.
Hi, Sagar Kumar.
Hey, man.
Back in a few minutes.
So, Billy, does your social media look like a teenager's bedroom?
What? Full of Justin Bieber posters?
No, you incompetent fool. Messy and unorganized.
Yeah, it kinda does. But what can I do about it?
Oh, poor simple Billy. Why not put all your social media in one convenient place?
But gee whiz, mister, how can I do that?
With Social QR, of course. It's easy, fast, and free.
But what's Social QR?
Well, Billy, I'm glad you asked. Social QR is a one-stop shop for personal and business social media users to have all your social media in one place. Easy to set up, easy to share, and fully customizable, with your own custom QR code suitable for digital and print media.
Jiminy crickets, so now it'll be as tidy as my web browser?
So don't forget, Billy, that's socialqr.xyz. And Billy, take down the Justin Bieber posters.
Aww.
Every day, Richie has to drive 2 miles to bum tobacco from his friends. With your generous donation of only $19.20 a week, Richie won't have to sponge from his friends. Text Richie to 521034 27591268089 so we can finally tell Richie to piss off.
From its rich traditions beginning when the first AM radio transmission was broadcast in the year 1900 to present day, where radio is still the most listened to form of media and the number one source for people of all ages to enjoy their favorite music and discover new artists. Sure, the technology has changed, but the concept has stood the test of time throughout history. From the end of World War II,
General Eisenhower informs me that the forces of Germany have surrendered to the United Nations. The flags of freedom fly all over Europe.
to the falling of the Berlin Wall.
Our top story. The Iron Curtain between East Germany and West Berlin has come tumbling down.
To the U.S. entering the War on Terror.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world. Thank you. Good night, and God bless America.
Generations across the world are united by music as it transcends all language barriers. It brings everyone on planet Earth closer together. We at iStreamRadio.ie understand what radio has done for the world and would like to thank radio for its 100-plus years of service. Radio has been here through thick and thin. Thank you, radio.
Imagination is the beginning of creation. You imagine what you desire. You will what you imagine. And at last, we create what you will. Don't wait for the right opportunity. Let us create it. When the virtual world of the internet, ideas, dreams, and concepts have become a reality, now is the time to bring your idea to the digital world. MilestoneMedia.ie offer a full range of digital services such as web development, hosting, audio, and visual services. Inspiration has a new platform. MilestoneMedia.ie. Experience the difference.
Tired of getting more screwed over than your cousin Jesse's pig? Sick of those uppity cowboys over at the Irish Insurance Federation? Is your vehicle being overpriced because it's undervalued? Does your annual quote leave you feeling sicker than the morning you woke up beside your sister? Well, leg it down to Leggett Insurance. Leggett Insurance is the answer to all your insurance needs. Bored off the road? No problem. Old lady turf you out and you gotta move your collection of lawn art? That's okay. Underage? Well, shit, that ain't your fault. Our unique style of cover provisions includes a real insurance disc to put in your windshield and the understanding that if something goes wrong, you use our groundbreaking policy. Run as fast as you can before anyone gets your wrench. The golden rule is to make sure you pick up any bits of your car left behind so you can't be identified. Your one-off payment of $29.99 annually provides all of the above. And for an additional $40, we provide you with a full windscreen worth in your very own Leggett disc holder. Just call us on 2800 Yeehaw! That's 2800 Yeehaw! Sail through that checkpoint today! Itchy, smelly scrotum getting you down. Worried about ball sweat on the dance floor? Well, worry no more. New sandalwood and lavender scented Man Ponds has your nutsack covered. Our unique smell inhibiting fibrous wadding ensures your most repugnant odors are kept to yourself. So next time she drops the hand, you can feel confident it's not into a vat of nut soup. And don't forget, you can be the sweetest smelling stud in the nursing home with new Man Ponds Twilight Edition for seniors. Order our economy size 86 pack today on manponds.org. Man Ponds, because you don't need to smell any worse.
The Supernatural Dogshit podcast is controversial and confrontational and may cause offense to some. Listener discretion is advised.
And you're very welcome back to the Supernatural Dogshit podcast. Now, that hour did get serious. Yes?
That hour was shit.
Man, it's so serious. Well,
They're all so uncomfortable.
it's a touchy subject. It gets on everybody's nerves, I think. Isn't it one of those topics?
Yeah, it gets under the skin because it's like it's been such a fucking part of Irish society for the past like 10, 20 years, like it all coming out constantly that it's just fucking shit like.
A comment here that I really should have read out an hour ago.
Oh, get to it.
Comment in on our WhatsApp 085-272-7212. Bring up the transgender who went on Big Brother and was offended because a male admitted he wasn't into trans women. And then the trans woman made a big show as to why he couldn't treat her as a woman. Men should have the right to separate trans women to biological women.
Well, like, you mean, you can have a genital preference. There's nothing about that, like.
Yeah. No, that's fair. They would have made so much more of a point in the context. Look, the conversation has been had.
But you know, there's actually a very funny Stephen Crowder video to do with that. It was a transgender guy, an Irish transgender guy by the name of David, and he was transgender into a woman,
right?
But he didn't have the surgery done yet. So he went on a blind date, and he was sitting across from men, and these men were terribly uncomfortable, but they daredn't say anything about it. And he was
this on first dates or something?
What? No. He was asked what he would change to make people more acceptable, and he said, "I just changed society. If they don't fancy me as a man, then they're being transphobic."
See, no,
I
don't.
That's fucking retarded.
But see, the problem is as well, when somebody goes through this change.
No, but like, you mean, like, not even that. Like, if someone's a breeder, right? That's a phrase in the gay community. You're a filthy breeder.
What does that mean?
It means that you're heterosexual and want to have kids. It's just it's a bit of fun.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of a sneer.
Everything's like a double entendre.
Yeah. And like, you know, if that's the way you are and you want to procreate and all that, you're going to be attracted to someone you can procreate with.
Mm-hmm. But do you think people there should be ostracized for not fancying somebody just because they're the same gender?
You don't you don't have to fancy anyone you don't want to fancy.
But this guy David was saying, fancy
I know.
me.
He was just fucking riling it up.
See, the problem is there, right?
That was the media.
When you grow up as a girl, you go
say.
through all the stages naturally and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But just say you're a 25-year-old guy that decides to become a woman. You have to go through 25 years of a person in a very short period of time, and you'll have this weird kind of adolescent period in your transition where the world's out to get you, nobody likes me, I'm all different.
And society is heavily persecuting you in general. Like,
in general,
if you walk down the street in a dress, you're going to get looks, you're going to get stares, and you're probably going to get a couple of comments.
Yes, the nail that sticks out gets the hammer.
Yeah.
But I feel for these people, but at the same time, you can't expect anybody else to change for you.
No,
but you can expect them to keep their own fucking mouth shut.
It is easier to change what you are doing than it is to change what someone else is doing.
Question from James Flashman. The question is, smoked or unsmoked bacon?
Smoked.
Thanks for lightening the mood.
Smoked, yeah.
That
Smoked.
hickory.
Yeah. I like hickory bacon. I like streaky bacon.
Streaky
bacon's
bacon's
the
alright,
shit,
like.
man. It's the shit in
Nice
small
fat
doses.
content.
When it's nice and crispy. I can't, when it's that like slimy fat shit.
No, it's just
I
a
cut
waste
the
of
fat
meat.
off my
No.
rashers,
I know.
yeah.
I just want a little bit of golden around the edge, like, you know. But I still like the meat to be not a cracker.
Not a cracker.
No, I like it crackery.
You just reminded me of something using the word golden. I have a friend of mine who is a producer on a radio show, News Talk in Dublin.
Right.
And he's gay.
Okay.
And he told us one night that he was a golden gay.
Oh, he likes a bit of a shower, does he?
No. It's, most people don't know this. Apparently, there's a titanium gay, a golden gay, a silver gay.
How many cocks you've sucked?
Basically, what it means is. What
are
the
you
hell is
doing?
going on
I
over
just
there?
tried to get out of it. It's just a little fuck up. Chill.
So, where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Golden gay, titanium gay.
So apparently, a titanium gay is where you've never been inside a vagina. So you're cesarean.
Right.
You've been a cesarean. A golden gay means you've come out of a vagina, so you at one stage have been in a vagina.
Oh, that's fucking gatekeeping bullshit.
But this is apparently a thing. He said he was a golden gay.
Well, if you like
People
cock,
who
you like
fucking
cock.
cling to anything.
It was retarded. So
Yeah.
But you get that in
labels on it.
everything. You get that in everything. It's like those like stoners like, oh, I could smoke under the table. It's like, well, if that's what you're all about, I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'd much rather have a bit of chat and not end up as a vegetable.
Yeah, but or see people with drinking. It's like, oh, come on, we gotta drink all this.
Are you tired at this stage, as much as I am, with labels?
Yes, it doesn't work.
Yeah, true.
I like labels are there. They're grand. They can be great for a person to find their own fucking place or their own identity or their own fucking thing with. But like, don't fucking wave them around as flags.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the bit that bothers me most about the LGBT, is they're waving around it as a flag. I don't
Hey, I'm
celebrate.
not gonna lie, it's a rainbow flag. It's fucking beautiful.
But
No,
see,
it's
there's
cool.
too many people involved in it for anybody to get anything positive out of it, in my opinion.
Apart from those that are searching for identity.
They're searching for identity.
But
the
is
thing
that not a personal search?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
nothing to do with the group.
No, but that's it. It's a personal search and it gives them something to rally around and whatever else.
Because you
and
could
it
have a
can
young
give them
lad
comfort
who
and
was
support.
raised in a predominantly very dogmatic Christian household and made to
In
feel
the
like nothing
back arse
for
of
the
nowhere.
entirety of their existence. And then they get up to Dublin and they're in a little shell. And then just say, oh, Cormac, you want to come out to this thing one night? And he goes out and he goes to a gay bar and he has this
The time of his life.
experience
Yeah.
where he's like, finally, I've met my people. And, oh, we have a flag and we have a title and this is who we are. And he will be a very good representative for that community because he's all about it. But then, you know, you've other people like that are
But I don't
gay.
understand.
They're normal dudes. They're just gay. You wouldn't know they were gay until you see them with their partner.
I don't understand why a gay community needs to be represented. What's going wrong in their...
Recognition.
Well, yeah, no, but
Because
we
they're still-
recognise
It's
them.
about it's about a pushback against a whole.
Because they're still being attacked for being gay and gay bashing still happens in Dublin.
I've been attacked for my shoes.
I know that. But at the same time, I don't think the shoes you wear have the same value to your core identity as your orientation.
Well, do you think that because there's new legislation being brought in for hate crime, so let's say you're a bisexual guy, so
Yeah.
let's say you walk outside and somebody says to you, oh, you're fucking queer, and starts beating you up.
That's a hate crime. then.
Okay, so
crime.
it's
Yeah.
a hate crime, and 10 feet down the road, they see me, and they say, well, we're just going to bait you up for the fun of beating you up.
Yeah,
That's just a
Is
crime.
one
then.
is one crime worse than the other?
absolutely.
How dare you say that?
Sorry, man.
No,
like,
genuinely, how dare you say that?
Why?
No.
Why?
That's an awful thing to say because what you're doing is you're putting yourself before
No.
me.
What I'm- no,
the
what-
hiding, the hiding,
No.
the injuries that I sustain are somehow less than
no,
yours.
that's not what it comes down to. It comes down to the fact that while they're beating the fuck out of me, they're literally attacking a core part of my being instead of being like, he's just some fucking prick. Do you know?
He would rather get bet for no reason
Yeah.
than get bet for being gay.
Yeah.
Like, you both got a baiting, right? But you stand up and go, oh, shrug it off, I just got bet. Whereas he got bet for being gay.
But here's the thing. So
therefore,
but
like-
what you're saying is that your beating was somehow more
Yeah, it was, because they bet his
than
soul as well as
more
his body.
than mine.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying both beatings are bad and neither should happen. But what I'm saying is that, like, if let's say two people get hopped, right, as you're talking about, and one is just a random hopping, and the other one they're throwing in this vitriol, this fucking hetric into
Like
it.
one is a physical assault, the other one is a physical and like a mental assault.
Okay, so the guys on top of me are saying you baldy bastard, you fat cunt, you this, that, and the other. All my core identity too as well.
You're already fucking trying to just fit your agenda.
No, it's not an agenda, because at the end of the day, it is coming
but
into
you
legislation.
changed your initial argument. You changed your initial argument.
Okay, I did, because he adopted something that I wasn't expecting.
So you should just take his new information.
And I've processed it.
Yeah, and then you just added on.
Added onto it, yes, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to differentiate. There is no differentiation between a physical assault.
No, it's the cause, it's the intent.
If a woman got raped because she was black,
you're always mad
versus
about
a woman
rape.
being raped,
That's all you talk about. That's all you talk about.
It is 70%. If a woman if a woman gets raped because she's black and another woman gets raped just for rape's sake, is there a difference between the rape?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah, because of the intent.
No, like I mean, like on fairness, if you
So
have a bunch, if you have a bunch,
I'm going to tell a
shut up
woman
for a second. If you have a bunch of lads in white hoods raping a black woman,
No,
because
you
she's
added that
black,
in. You added that in.
You
I
already
didn't.
made it racist. You
Yes.
already said it was a racist issue. So
Yes.
I'm just adding a bit of context to it. I haven't changed the story at all, except for the fact that they didn't want to reveal their identities.
So you go to woman B who was being raped and you say that to her. You sit down to a woman
I
who was
never
being raped and say, you're not as important as her over there.
No. You're making
what the fuck are you on
extrapolation.
about?
You're making
Wait.
extrapolation of importance.
There's
You're
no-
making it.
I absolutely am,
Right.
yes.
But in the eyes of the law, there was one crime committed here, there was two crimes committed here. There was a rape and there was a hate crime. It's an extra offence.
Yeah, both are still offences and both are still jailable.
Do you think the man who was raping woman B loved her? Or was he hating her?
No.
Was it a marital rape?
No, just a rape, just a
Do you know what I
random
mean?
rape.
But like, you're just fucking throwing out shit tonight.
I'm absolutely not. I'm trying to draw comparisons between things, because on one hand you have people saying, like you just said there, that your beating would somehow be more,
I think,
relevant than mine.
No, I'm saying
Not
that
relevant,
I'm saying
just
that
in-
a beating with a hate crime
Relevant for times.
I'm saying a beating with a hate crime associated with it could lead to more intense mental trauma, which might take longer to recover from. That's all I'm saying.
It's like two people have a car accident, right? One was sober and one was drunk, but they're not going to get the same treatment in the courts. You know what I mean? Car A crashes into a front.
No, I get your
He does
example.
€760,000 worth of damage.
I get your-
Car B has the identical accident, causes the exact same amount of damage, but he's also getting an extra charge because he was drunk behind the wheel.
Yeah, absolutely.
I get what you're saying, but would you personally, or you, sit in front of woman B and say to them that your rape isn't as bad as her rape?
No, I wouldn't,
rape
because
is a
they're
rape.
two
There is no good
individual
rape.
rapes.
That's my point.
Yeah, but nobody's saying that.
that's not your
that doesn't
point.
happen.
That's my
not your
point.
point.
Guys, chill, wait.
That is my point. My point is,
Can we listen to the woman? Can we listen to the woman on this?
Beating
Sorry,
is
we
beating.
have a
Yeah.
representative
please,
person.
go ahead.
So, I kind of agree with Aiden. Don't get all hating now. We have comments to read out too. I just agree with you 100%, kind of. Like,
You disagree with him?
yeah, 100%, kind of. I know it doesn't make sense. No, I agree.
No, it's all right. It's cool.
I agree. So
You agree with me or disagree?
I kind of agree with you. Like, what's the difference between the rape? It doesn't matter what the scenario
We're not
was.
saying there's a difference between the rape. We're saying there was
Yes, you are.
No.
You're saying there's two
There
crimes
is.
against, say,
two
the one.
people. Listen, right, shh. I'm going to talk for 1 second. Do not interrupt me. Woman A and woman B. Two separate isolated events. Woman A got raped, woman B got raped. So statistically, we have two new rapes, right? Mm-hmm. There is no difference in what happened to those two women, bar woman B had an extra offence. As in, they didn't just rape her, they told her they were raping her in a discriminatory fashion. They were raping her because
she's black.
she was different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the difference. It's an add-on. It's a bolt-on. They both got a capital crime committed against them.
Mm-hmm.
Only person B has more protection because we have to discourage discrimination.
I get that. There's nobody that would disagree with what you're saying. There's nobody disagreeing with that.
But you just want me to fall into your box
No,
of
no,
argument.
no, no,
You,
no.
you just want me to agree
Megan, what
with
did you
what
say?
you're saying.
Sorry.
Go on.
Oh, God. Casey, I feel a bit of pressure now because it's like, oh, the only girl that's fucking...
No, don't feel any pressure.
There's no pressure.
It's just my opinion.
Yeah.
It's the same situation. The same thing happened to two different people. Do you get me? There's not going to be one worse off than the other. Do you know what I mean? They're two both unforgivable.
And that's a good point. Let's say
it doesn't matter if there's an extra conviction or they said extra shit to her.
Let's say a black man walked down the road and raped you and said, I'm raping you because you're white. Would you feel somehow an extra level of hatred from this guy, or would it be all about the rape or the murder?
No, she said, a little bit.
Because if your mother was murdered this evening, and a black woman was murdered, the crimes are both the exact same thing, whether racial intent is there or not.
Context, though. There has to be context. They have to say, I'm murdering you.
Nah, he likes throwing out wild examples.
Yeah, I do. I love wild examples.
Because they're full of shit.
Because it gets people talking and it gets people thinking as well.
Yeah,
they're full of shit.
But the thing is, there's no point in me talking or thinking if you're not listening.
I am. I'm 100% listening because I've agreed with you, and I've agreed with you on several occasions. But unfortunately,
coming down to the murder,
you're not hearing what I'm saying.
No, I know.
I'm hearing what you're saying.
That in the past.
It's not clicking with me because we're looking at it from two different perspectives. I'm just telling you now, if something happens, there has to be evidence of a hate crime first. Not just because a white guy raped a black girl doesn't make it a hate crime. He has to say to her, this is because you are black. It's because I am a white supremacist and I am raping you for being black. You are lesser than me. That is where the hate comes into the hate crime thing.
Well, I witnessed a woman being raped in Dublin when I was a security officer, saw it on camera, and I saw the whole event, what happened to this poor woman. He literally punched her teeth and done...
Yeah, I heard the story.
...terrible things to this woman. And I had to sit there and watch that with the police because we had the security cameras in the area.
And you were the witness.
And unfortunately, I was the witness. But I guarantee you the last thing in that woman's mind would have been anything about race or how she looked. Or
unless during the act they were saying it to her.
Yes, absolutely.
I guarantee you, once you're being raped or murdered, you're not going to give a shit about the context of why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're black or white.
But to put this law into the way it's actually going to work in this country is when you've lads filing out with a George or filing out with a Dragon, and there's those sleeving bastards hanging around the corner looking for an easy target.
Oh, the gay bashing.
And they go and gay bash.
Yeah.
This law is to stop these cunts.
We'll get to the comments now.
Please.
Because there's common assault, which gets people nothing. Then there's GBH, which can get you jail time. But when you combine it with that hate speech thing, you're getting rid of the dirtiest bastards going.
100%.
But does that exist in the...
It does exist. It happens every fucking week.
Does that exist to the levels of how you're expressing your annoyance at this
topic?
No,
but like
no, it does exist.
If you're even in a fucking school and there's some kids beating on someone that might be a first generation immigrant or could be fucking here since their grandparents, do you know what I mean? And they're being bet because of their fucking ethnic background. That's really not good.
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not.
I know. It happens.
It's clearly.
And you need those hate crimes there for that.
Comments?
Comment from JJ. You're entitled to your own opinion, even if they're wrong, and you are wrong too. It's so true, JJ. Stephen Cullum, we are the archer, they are the bow. We just point them in the right direction and the rest is up to them. I presume that was back at the children that Frank was on about. And Teresa says, I'm curious about everyone's opinion of the Twisted Tea video. Have any of you seen that?
Yeah, it's
that
amazing.
was a great way to open a can.
What's that, man?
There's there's this little redneck and he's at a counter in a convenience store and there's a black guy 6 feet away from him and he keeps on dropping the N-bomb. And then the black guy goes, can you just stop saying the N-word, right? And he's got a can of Twisted Tea in his hand. And your man starts, I'll say this, I'll say that. And he gets right up in his shit and he keeps going on.
And he even puts his chin out.
He's like, come on. And the black guy drops the can and then he goes to kick the can and your man gets it and he lambastes him into the face. But the guy was being a horrible, ignorant, dirty racist.
He deserved every bit of it.
And the black guy gave him every fucking chance. Yeah. He wasn't going out of his way to be a social justice warrior.
No.
He was just standing, he just had enough of this fucking... He was obviously on some sort of drug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was.
You just tell by his demeanor and by his
coming down or
going up.
What
he was
are you
on
talking
something.
about, nigga? All this shit.
Yeah.
Totally
Just
out of it, like.
I hate when white people use the N-word.
Yeah.
It's not your word.
Shouldn't be allowed. It's not. No.
You can use it like.
You know what we should do? We should get on to the fun bits because we're running out of time, lads.
Yeah.
We've a half an hour.
Oh, is there fun bits in this show?
Apparently there is, like, not anymore.
I kind of remember it being better the last time.
Oh, there's a fun bit. We're all going to go out later and commit a heap of hate crimes before the legislation passes.
So, fun bits. What I did want to delve into tonight for the fun bits was the metaphysical.
Yes.
Philosophy. You know, because we enjoy having.
Are we going to get supernatural?
Yeah, maybe. I've been stumped with a question that I asked myself. I hate asking myself fucking questions because I go around for months going.
Yeah, because you don't know the answer because you wouldn't be asking yourself the question otherwise.
So what's the question?
The question is, what makes something right or wrong?
its impact on others.
Is it though? Because when you think about everything in its entirety and how insignificant Earth really is.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm taking a nihilistic approach here for this particular.
I wouldn't
topic.
call that nihilistic. I call it realistic. In the size of the expanse of the universe that we're in, we are nothing.
Exactly. So if I walk over to you and put a gun to your head and blow your brains out, in the expanse of it, it means nothing.
No, it means
so
absolutely nothing.
Where does right and wrong come from? Did right stem from religion? Is that when we started to introduce morals?
Well, no,
or is it instinct?
It's both, because like in hunter-gatherer societies, which you know we all came from and whatever, cooperation, like the share, the kill, or the share, the gathering, is what kept the society going, and then that
cooperation.
Yeah.
But at what point where a human more the forced human, did they feel guilt?
Really nice stick or a really nice stone, guaranteed.
But
or maybe a woman.
Did
but
they feel
like,
guilt?
You know,
yes.
You know, because if a dog kills a cat, it doesn't feel guilt.
If you're righteous in your actions, there's no guilt attached.
Say again?
If you're righteous in your actions, there's no guilt attached. That's why, like, you know,
those priests that ran the mother and baby homes didn't feel guilty because they felt over the people that were subject to them.
Exactly.
Yes, but still, from a very primordial, basic level, we should know the difference between right and wrong. So even
this is where I come from with the whole, it stems from its impact on others. Do you know, like, you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't impact another human.
You can fantasize about murder all day. You can play murders video games, you can set up targets and shoot them. But as soon as you put context to someone where you are going to take action on other people...
But who said that action is wrong?
Because you know moralistically it's wrong.
Who came up with the morals?
The church.
Someone along before us.
So who gave the church the right to say to us what was right and wrong?
When Moses went up the mountain and got them stone tablets off God.
But even before that, you had like the Babylonian fucking religions. You always had a religion of some sort. You always had someone that pretended to know what was behind the veil.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to trace the origins of right and wrong. Because is it religion? Is it a cultural thing? Is it a societal thing?
If you go back to like Aristotle and Plato had discussions about this, like, you know?
It's like the monkey and ladder experiment. We're the room full of monkeys that have never climbed the ladder and got the shock, but we all know not to climb the ladder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's instinct.
It is an instinct of sorts, yes.
Look at like Milgram's prison experiment.
Yes, where they got all these dudes, put them in a prison.
That's a Stanford prison experiment.
But it was Stanley Milgram.
Yes, Stanford prison experiment. Yes.
So they got, was it 24 guys?
Yeah, and they had like half being officers, half
being prisoners.
And how quickly their social interaction devolved into like outright abuse. Like.
Actually, you know what you're missing there is the first part of the story was that what the guys did was they split it. The first a lot of guys were prison guards and, you know, these two groups.
Yeah.
Prison guards, prisoners. Then during like midweek, they switched it around, and was at the point of switching it around, then the other guys got much nastier.
Oh, because they were getting revenge.
All
right.
So that's there was a turn. But his wife was actually the one who put a stop to that experiment because they were literally going insane in there. And his wife said, "If you don't stop this experiment,
you're going to jail.
We're done. We're not in a relationship with each other. If that's the man you are, you're going to put these people in danger."
Yeah.
So he said, and then he dedicated his life to the question that I'm asking now.
Where do morals come from?
Where do morals come from? What is right and wrong? Because let's say there was a planet, the Klingon planet, you know, Star Trek. I've been watching Star Trek lately.
They're always a really peaceful, happy crew. What about them?
Let's say on, what's it? Kronos is the name of their planet, isn't it?
Is it?
It is, yeah. So Kronos, their planet
Mr.
Kronos.
fucking time themselves.
Maybe murder is right on their planet.
Well, it's right on this planet too, with the death penalty.
In very limited circumstances in isolated areas.
Yeah.
All very blurred though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to pinpoint something and I just can't put my finger on it, where it comes from. Is it me? Is it society? Is it my instincts? Is it biology? What the hell is it that makes something right?
It's inherited from
morality.
It's inherited. It's passed down generation to generation, and it slips generation to generation.
Well, this is why I'm asking the question: when the first human being murdered, the very first murder that ever happened, did that person feel guilty?
Well, no, because there was hunter-gatherer tribes fighting for territory.
How do we know that?
Because there's evidence of it.
Okay, so the hunter-gatherer tribes, one of them standing at the edge of a cliff, his instinct says to him, "Don't go over there because you're going to die and you won't come back."
Yeah.
That's your instinct kicking in.
But that could have been a learned behaviour because he's seen somebody else do it and he said, "Oh, that's the consequence of that action."
Do you reckon?
Yes.
Do you reckon it's learned behaviour?
It's all learned behaviour.
I don't think it's learned behavior. I think we have,
And
like
inherent
animals,
morality, like.
well, one of the things I hear, consciousness. I believe that our own consciousness, our subconsciousness, is the thing that I'm going to do a quick experiment on you, right?
All right, okay.
Don't freak out, right?
Don't touch my cock.
I'm not going to touch your cock. quick experiment, right?
Yeah.
Now, that twitch and that flinch that you did, you never had to think about that.
No.
And that wasn't your brain that did it, it was your subconscious.
Yeah, it's my. It'll be part of the parasympathetic nervous system.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can go into this.
So this is what is defending
my groove,
you,
baby.
So I'm wondering, is that where your morals are? I'm wondering, is that implanted in there
Some
somewhere
of them
too?
are.
Like, yeah, you obviously have your subconscious, like, and your subconscious is a huge part of your individuality, like.
But does your subconscious drive the good or the bad in you?
Drives
drives you.
Or is it?
No. It drives you, and it's based on your own interpretation of how society should be, is how you will act out like. You know, that's why you have people that from whenever the fuck they start fucking baiting people and robbing them, whatever. You know, and it progresses from there because they don't give a shit about the repercussions.
It's down to good and bad choices, basically.
Yeah.
I watched a wonderful experiment. I think I showed it to you, Richie, where there was this box, and basically this guy was sitting there with these like probes all over his head, and he had to press a light when it came on.
Right.
And this machine was able to read his subconscious. That he didn't know he was going to make the decision until... So the decision is made by your subconscious. It's then passed to you, and then you do what your subconscious tells you to do. So therefore, you don't have a choice.
No. Yeah,
yes, but you do.
No, but there is this argument.
You don't control your subconscious?
No, you don't. On split decision reactions, you can't really. But on longer term decisions, you can. Like, just say, you do something wrong and you walk away from it and it's eating on your mind.
I've done it many times.
Because your conscious is in conflict with your subconscious. And then your ego is coming into play as well.
It's the difference between premeditated murder and a manslaughter charge.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the clearest example I can give of that.
But who's in control? Is it you
no,
truly?
But like if it's a manslaughter, like let's say, I don't know, you walk in on your wife and some other one, and
you hit him with a lamp, and it's
and it's just like, oh shit, that went a bit further than I thought. I only meant for a black eye, like.
That's you.
You know what I mean? But like that's a subconscious, that's a guttural reaction to whatever, you know. Whereas like if you see it and you kind of like close the door, oh, I'm not ready to deal with that, and then 3 days later you hunt him down and gun him down, like
that's meditated.
That's a different issue, like.
But it is still, again, it has been proven that your subconscious still makes all the decisions.
Yeah.
All decision power is made before you're even aware that decision has been made.
Absolutely.
And this is what science has proved.
Yeah.
We know this so far. So does that mean that we're not in control? Like us, the forefront of me.
I believe we are.
Am I not in control of the decisions I make?
You are. The both of them are linked because how you think will, like, obviously reveal itself to you and how you feel about certain things or whatever.
But what if it is my subconscious telling me to think all these
They're
things?
all one. You are one person.
But it's not. It's been proven to be separate entities.
No.
No. They're separate mechanisms within the one entity.
Exactly.
Yes. No. They're separate entities within the one mechanism.
No.
You are one person.
They're mechanisms. You're an entity. They're mechanisms within your entity.
Are you aware of your subconscious?
Yeah, of course I'm aware of it.
Are you?
No.
Really?
I'm aware of its existence.
Can you communicate with it?
I don't think so. Maybe through meditation.
Neither do I.
Maybe through deep meditation.
And this is my point. It can communicate with you, but you can't with it. So who's really in control?
Yeah,
obviously,
but see,
your subconscious is you, and you are your subconscious, man. You
But
are
you're
one
not.
entity.
But you're not.
You are.
That experiment that guy has done proved that you are not.
No. Because it just highlighted a separation.
It makes a decision before you're aware of the decision that has been made. So technically, you're not in control.
That just says the conscious mind isn't always aware of the subconscious. It doesn't say that they're two fucking separate entities.
Well, here's a question.
But your subconscious interacts with your conscious in the sleep realm.
Yes, it does. And that's why I was looking into the whole dream. I'd love to talk to somebody who does dream analysis.
Yeah. You were saying that earlier.
Yeah, I would love to talk to somebody. But unfortunately, with the whole dream analysis thing, I was giving Megan an example. I said, let's say Richie is a dream analyst and you're the same. And I go to you and I say to you, I keep having dreams that the front door won't open on the house. And you interpret what you think that means. Then I go to Megan and she hasn't heard the conversation. Opinion. She's going to interpret that a totally different way. So I think dream interpretation is complete bullshit.
No. It's like psychoanalysis. There are people that have studied this. There's bodies of work on it. And it's about being educated on it.
And it's about being able to interpret the individual's view on everything they see within their own dream. You can't generalize dream interpretation.
But see, I have a reoccurring dream, but it's a different scene. It's kind of like that American Horror Story.
Yes.
It's the same cast, but a different scene each time.
Okay, so
and
what
it's
is it?
The annihilation of the world.
Right.
Constantly. Like, I have this dream all the time. I have died in so many times in my dreams.
Yeah, it's irrelevant whether you die or not.
The world has been hit by meteors. We've been attacked by alien spaceships, massive earthquakes, tsunamis, you name it.
World collapse and shit.
All the time. And I Google it, and I've got so many different fucking answers.
Well, of course, because
yeah, but that's the same time if you Google any symptom with your body, you have cancer.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have
What
to.
are you googling? Dream meanings, like, is it?
But
yeah,
you know what I mean? But like, if you look at that, like, you could say, oh, it relates to fucking 2012. It relates to whatever the fuck, like, you know, like it could be such a generalized thing, apocalypse, that it relates to just, it's too broad.
The dream analyst will break them down, and he will look for recurring traits within all those dreams, not just the theme,
like you're saying,
but
the
actions.
same cast.
The same cast, but is there a same action every time that you?
Yes.
Do? Right. Well,
the
you
same,
need to.
And the same action is my. What word would I use to even say this?
Dismay.
No, the most vivid dream that I had was I was in an industrial estate, and there was a massive explosion somewhere that I could hear, and I could feel a pressure wave coming towards us, and this heat picked me up, like as I was being blown away,
That's
and I
usually
died.
what happens when a pressure wave hits you. You feel the heat.
In the moment that I'm dying, I always think the exact same thing. This ain't so bad.
Ah, man.
Yeah, well, that's to do with you and your own mental demons.
How is it though?
How?
Because you're facing into the collapse of your own world, the explosion of all reality, and you're kind of going, I'm alright with this.
See, dreams are very deceptive because you and I, we all know that when you're in a dream, you've no idea that you're dreaming unless you're having a lucid dream. So whatever is in your dream, that's your world. It is 100% real to you.
And lucid dreams are dangerous.
Yeah, I've very rarely have them.
You can put yourself in a lucid dream state very easily. I'll Dr. Google there, give you a few tips on how to do it. You're messing with shit you don't know. It's worse than playing with a Ouija board.
Well, I actually brought this up.
If you want to get onto the metaphysical and stuff that people can't put their finger on, supernatural stuff, lucid dreaming is dangerous.
I have another reoccurring dream, which is a bit of a weird one. And I think it tells a lot about my character, that this dream tells a lot about me. So there's a house, and there is some entity around this house. I don't know what it is. I can't see it, but I can feel it. And whatever this feeling is pure evil, it's pure horrible, and every fibre of my being wants me to run away from this house. But I keep walking forward, and there's something pushing me back, and I can never get into the house to find out what that evil is. But in my dream, this is the most scariest thing ever, and yet I'm still facing it.
Because you're a troublemaker.
When I wake up, I'm not that brave in real life.
No, you're not.
So
it's a dream, man. You need to talk to a dream analyst.
I'd love to. We should have one on the show.
Or a psychotherapist.
Yeah.
Psychotherapist would probably be best.
Jez, I'd nearly pay for it myself.
We'll get Peterson in. We'll get Professor Peterson in. He would be the best one for us.
He'll love the new studio. I'll send out the invite, yeah?
Yeah, you send it out. So any
Benzos for all.
Any weird reoccurring dreams? Actually, listeners, 085 2727 212. If you have any weird reoccurring dreams. What about you guys? Anything?
No.
When I have the same nightmare, it involves plane crashes and dinosaurs. And it's always
Is that why you don't want to travel?
Yeah, kind of, in a way, yeah. I blame 9/11 for my travel. I always had the fear, what if we get hijacked? What if there's terrorists on board? We're not guaranteed a parachute when we jump out of a plane or get onto a plane. In fact, there's no actual safety on board.
No, you get your life jacket.
Oh,
and you get your life jacket and you'll be all right.
Oh God.
If you can get off the plane in time.
Well, to be fair, if you can't get off the plane, you probably shouldn't.
The fear of falling to your death is another for me. Dying in the sky, that kind of
it's all right. Like, the plane just falls. You don't.
No,
I know, but the thing is, when planes take ground, they disintegrate. That means you just disintegrate with it.
Yeah, because they're not designed to crash.
Bad
They're
way to
designed to
go.
fly.
They're designed to fly and land.
I don't know.
Yeah. They're designed to work in a certain window of parameters.
As Brendan O'Carroll said, he was on a plane and a woman was giving the speech, you put your life jacket on. He said, excuse me, what's the life jacket for? And she said, it's in case we land in water. And he went, land in water? He said, you crash in water, you fucking idiot.
Yeah. No.
You land on runways.
No. You can come down without crashing.
Have you seen, I think it was Edia Airline, the one that's ditched into the ocean? And he was trying his best.
And what about the one that landed on the Hudson River?
Yeah, he done a great job.
See?
He did.
Done
I
a
seen that
house
video.
on
Yeah.
But
Smoothest
he kept the engines out of the water. Unfortunately, with that Eddie one, the left engine caught the water, and it was like a scoop.
Yeah,
and it just
he was trying something that didn't work. You know what I mean?
It's not something he does every day.
But actually, the pilot survived of that crash. He was one of the very few that survived. And handy tip for anybody who is going to fly: don't inflate your life jacket until you're outside the plane.
Yeah, because you won't get through the door.
Yeah,
and
you float to the top and you drown.
Yeah, you get stuck in an air pocket.
Yep.
Yeah.
I not so much on dreams, but I always get intrusive thoughts.
Like
when I'm working at heights.
You want to jump?
I want to just lap off.
Me too.
There's a fucking German word for that. I can't think of it.
Why do you want to jump off?
They have an actual word for it.
The idea comes in your head when you're doing it. It's just stupid intrusive thoughts. Like you're working with a big dirty machine and it's spinning and grinding up branches. You're like, yup. You just think. You think through it. You think through what would happen if you did it.
I've got that very same feeling when I was on a boat going over to England.
You just want to fuck off.
And I'm looking over the edge and I'm going, why am I tempted to jump?
Yeah.
Like tempted to jump in the fucking water.
The old fucking water going whoa, 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 looks fun.
I think it's like
I'm terrified of the water.
I think it's a weird trick your brain plays in itself to comfort you with the danger that you're perceived danger that you're in.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you believe that consciousness actually lies within your brain or outside of the brain?
I think it's in your whole body because you have your gut instinct.
And that's such a real thing. I'm a major believer in gut instinct. If something
like
feels
there's
wrong,
so many
that's because it
hormones
is.
produced down in your center torso that affect your brain as well.
You have like your gut brain fucking interaction. There's a huge amount. It's more serotonin in your gut than in your brain.
It's like inner chakras. It's actually it's an actual real thing, isn't it though? Yeah.
Well,
and I never used to believe in that kind of crap as I used to call it.
As a computer,
I do now.
As a computer programmer, I learned coding, and I know that everything is binary zeros and ones.
No, but then what about quantum?
Yeah, well. That's a different different kettle of fish.
That's closer to humans, though.
Yes, it is, and this is what I wanted to get at. So if you
that's a qubit, isn't it? And you know, you have a bit.
You're already,
and it goes one way, back, 1 to 0. There's always 1 point of interference.
Right.
In a qubit, which is the core of quantum computing, there's infinite bits.
Yeah, that bit I understand.
Yeah. You go from the linear 1 to 2 to 3 to 1 to 0. Yeah. In a qubit.
You can go. It's like the queen on a chessboard.
It goes anywhere.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this is because on a hard drive, you literally have printed on a hard drive zeros and ones. You do know that.
Yeah.
So they're literally zeros and ones that are visible under a microscope.
Yeah.
So if you chop open the human brain, there is zero, and I've done lots of research into this. There is zero evidence. They can suggest that your memories are here and you use your brain for this,
hippocampus and all
but there
that.
has been zero proof to say this is where your memories are, this is how they're stored.
Because there's people with massive brain damage where people can still form memories and have relatively normal function.
But this is why I believe that memories are not stored. This is my own theory. I don't believe that memories are stored in your brain. I think we're on Wi-Fi. I think we're the receiver, and where our consciousness is out in the ether somewhere,
I used to think like that.
We pick up on it,
and we pick up on it. And when people get brain damage, it's simply the receiver is broken.
Well, we're electromagnetic.
Yeah,
we are. We have an electrical field.
And there is, like, you know, if you're anyway at all a believer in any kind of faith, you do think there's something bigger than you.
I fucking hope so.
It's like when you look at ants, anything with a hive brain. Like ants have a hive brain. It's observable.
And they bury their dead.
Yeah, but it's observable. Like, same with bees. There's soldiers, there's drones, and there's queens,
And they all work for the queen ant as well. Yeah. And queen bee.
So what was your point?
The point is, we don't know shit.
Do you know the smartest thing a person can do is realise how dumb they are?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the expanse of things, we know fucking nothing.
It's like when you start a new job, and it's in a field you've never had any experience. You have to make the decision to say to yourself, I don't know anything, so I must be open to all suggestions.
Yeah, you adapt,
And we should take the same thing for living our lives on this planet. I will go on the information given to me.
There's always something to learn.
There's always another
Every day's
angle.
a school day.
I hate haikus and I hate...
limericks?
Kind of, yeah, probably. Because, you know, this whole shit of you are fine just the way you are.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's absolute terrible bullshit.
So.
And I fucking hate when people use that stuff all the time. You know, you're okay the way you are. I'm dying of cancer. I'm okay. You know, or I'm a massive smoker.
It's just a sticker
or
you
I'm
put on things.
overweight
Like,
or whatever
look,
it is.
It's okay to not be okay, like. You know what I mean?
And that's one of the ones I don't like.
No, that's very important.
Because it's not okay to be okay. It's okay to realise that you're not okay and to get help.
Yeah,
It's not okay to be okay.
And like, even when you look at like people getting help, some people don't realise that accepting you need help or beginning the process of helping yourself can require a healthy dose of shame.
Yes.
Like when you hit rock bottom, to climb back up, you have to accept the shame of where you are.
Yeah, but see, people don't want to feel shame anymore these days.
No, they
don't.
They
want the quick fix, gimme.
Instant gratification.
I know, but like, I think it needs to be highlighted that like, to pick yourself up, you have to realise how shit things are.
Yeah, you have to fall down. You have to fall down before you get picked up.
Absolutely.
Well, I was driving around the car the other night, and I was thinking of Jordan Peterson. I was thinking, if I ever had my one interview, the best interview I could have, who would it be?
Be him.
And I would love to have Jordan Peterson on, because I'd love to ask him so many questions that are outside of what he normally presents himself. So he's talking about transgenders, or he's talking about Build C16. I don't want to talk about that with Jordan Peterson. I want to talk about his idea of psychology. Because his idea of psychology, as we know, the psychology field is rampant with left-wing people.
Yes.
Because that's the humanitarians. The people who feel sympathy and empathy become psychologists. And it's normally right-wingers don't.
Freud did a load of cocaine, like.
That was back in the fucking heyday of crazy quacks, man.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask Jordan Peterson one question. Maybe you guys can delve into this a little bit. Is trauma necessary for the building blocks of a good character?
Yes.
Is
yes.
it? You need a healthy dose.
Every good character arc has some fucking heartbreak in it, man.
Yeah.
People who live normal, placid lives that never experience adversity are the most boring people.
Okay,
to talk
boring,
to.
but does it make you a better person?
Well, I think
to
if
have
someone's
trauma?
boring and dull and complacent and has no real voice, they're not a good person, because they're placé and can fall with the wind in any which way.
Yep.
Whereas somebody who's experienced hardships and traumas and has convictions will always give you a more coloured answer.
But see, and that's where I'm
ripe
thinking,
in perspective.
Because I know people who have suffered trauma and who have become recluse, and they become suicidal, they become really into themselves. Where when I suffered trauma, and I've suffered fucking Richie knows my story very well. He knows the trauma that I've suffered. It made me such a better person.
It'll make a man out of you almost.
Like literally, because that's why I asked you earlier, what was the catalyst to you becoming a better man? Because I know what mine was.
Mine was perspective. I could see that I had a life and I was wasting it, and there was an opportunity for happiness.
Mine was hurt. Mine was trauma, pure trauma that made me think in opposite ways.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at
that, like.
I'm looking at other people who suffer from trauma who then do actually go through and commit suicide and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're thinking to yourself,
I look at them as people that just never got the right help.
But I never got help. I helped myself.
Just because you didn't get it doesn't mean that they shouldn't get it either. Like, everybody's different.
See, and that's the bit I
In the
find
same way
so
you- in
difficult
the-
to
no, no,
understand.
In the same way in school, right? When you were in school, you could see that some people needed support and didn't get it, and others didn't need support and just went along with it, right?
Right.
When it comes to trauma, you're on the opposite side. You didn't need support. You just got on with it and got through it.
Oh no, I did need it. I went through years of hell.
Just got through it on your own.
But I got through it on my own. But
Whereas others need their hand held. And they need fucking reassurance, and
But
they
if
need
I can
some
do it-
identity within a tribe for that.
If a dyslexic moron with
Would you shut the fuck up? You're not a moron for a start.
No,
And you're,
but I
you're
was.
taking on this fucking trauma of your childhood fucking shit.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing.
And you're identifying that with a wider issue, which is wrong. It's
No,
your-
what
you're
I'm
not
saying
valid-
is, this is what I was, and it was the trauma that changed me.
I know, but like, examine your unconscious bias in this.
But if exactly, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, but see, trauma's relative as well. What would traumatise you mightn't traumatise me.
Absolutely, like, if you look at...
It's that whole tasting an orange thing.
Yeah.
Well, like, even if you look at, let's say, someone who lives a highly, highly sheltered life, right? And the biggest thing they've ever had to deal with is losing their iPhone, and that's the end of the world to them. Do you know? Whereas to someone else...
You have some Syrian kid who's been... his background was bombs for a year.
Yeah. So true.
He comes to Ireland, and then the guy beside him's giving out that it's cold. He's like, well, I walked 100 miles in snow with no shoes on.
Yeah.
They're all relative, comparative things, like, you know what I mean?
The impact of trauma will always be based on your wider experience.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is why I'm trying to understand trauma. And the reason why I'm trying to understand it is because a personal friend of mine came to me recently, and they said that they were having issues with one of their kids. and I was trying to think of a way to help this person. And I was thinking to myself, is our kids these days lacking the trauma that we had when we were kids?
Yes.
Nah, I don't think so.
No, I can see where you're going with this.
So can I, yeah.
As in,
we're making them soft.
We're far nicer.
do you remember getting hit by a teacher in school? Or
Yeah.
seeing someone
No.
get hit by a teacher?
Oh, yeah, I remember you.
The dishing out of authority and corporal punishment is gone. And
But I remember it was only one teacher, and it was like first class,
Yeah.
and it was like you were hit
Same.
with the wedding ring, you were hit with the ruler, you hit with the top of the pencil.
And this is the whole trauma thing. That trauma made a better person, hopefully,
no,
out
that's
of
why
that
is I
person.
fucking hate that cunt.
And this is what we're lacking in society.
yeah, but he toughened you up.
Not in the
Yes.
slightest.
Not in the slightest, but it
No.
toughened me up.
Okay.
But see,
Toughened
like
me
I'm
up.
saying about comparative things where like what's good for you isn't good for me. But you know what I mean? It's so hard to draw a line under because when you come down to things, it's individual responses to things.
Yeah.
But I will say what I'm observing is people these days are so soft.
Well,
They're so...
Bill Maher likes to call them what do they call them? Oh fuck!
You're very careful listening to Bill Maher.
I don't like him. I'm not a
He's
fan.
like the Yank Pierce.
Emotional hemophiliacs. He said
Yes.
the slightest prick and they bleed to death. You know, and he said this is what we're building in the next generation to come. And I do think we're doing that. I think the lack of trauma, or trauma's too big of a word for a teacher slapping your hand with a ruler. That's too big a word.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, we're making softer people, but at the same time, there's people out there getting harder and harder as well.
Are they?
Yeah, because they're able...
Can you give me an example?
Like, the prevalence of under 18-year-old drug mules, that's a new thing.
But is that harder or is that
Nah,
getting
that's
weaker?
just-
No. It's weakness, but it makes hardened individuals that are very, very indifferent to heinous crime.
You see, this is a huge fucking topic.
Yeah. Like, I mean, even if you look at how drug issues have moved on from like the early 90s and stuff like that to the way they are now, where like people are watching Narcos and whatever, and they're getting their
Glorifying
ideas.
it.
Yeah. Like you had a 17-year-old that was chopped up and left in a fucking suitcase. You would not have had that in 90s Dublin.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, and like,
have
even
you seen
that-
Murder Mountain?
No.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You told me to watch it
Humboldt County in
last
California,
night.
yeah.
I watched it last night.
It's insane. You see the amount of women walking around with pictures of their kids, man. Have you seen this person?
Wow.
This is all around drugs. The fun-loving days of hippies, you know, selling marijuana and getting high and free love and sex and all that. That's gone. That's what
cartels.
it's cartels and it's
Like the sheriffs will drive in, and when the sheriffs are driving in, then they'll be
Motorbikes.
escorted by guys on quad bikes armed to the fucking teeth.
Right.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, right. And they'll go to indicate left to go down this laneway, and the quad will come up and cut off the laneway, and they know to just keep driving straight on and don't go up that laneway.
Okay.
Basically, it's called the Green Triangle. It's where the majority of the herbal cannabis in America is grown. And it used to be grown there by the hippie movement. And
It was one guy who started it all.
one guy, and these guys, basically 12 guys completely naked, making a log cabin for their families. It was all about free living, off the grid, away from the government. We're doing our own
Which
thing.
sounds awesome.
But
And
then
it was beautiful.
Then there was the millions that they're able to make off.
No.
No.
They realised they were growing all these crops, and some of them grew a bit of weed for themselves. And then when they ran out of money, they were like, we can sell a bit of this weed to the bikers. And the bikers would drive up and buy the weed off them. And some of them would stay and do their own grow operations. But it kind of
accidentally became a business.
became a business.
Well, like, you're looking at like the bikers coming in being probably the more aggressive in it, and they're just going to fucking co-opt it and take over.
No,
But
that's not what happened. The bikers didn't take it over. What happened was the movement got very big, and there was a lot of people going up there to be hippies,
And it became a hierarchy.
It became a hierarchy, and it was a very nice place to be.
Right.
And then Nixon came with his war on drugs.
Just say no.
Just say no. And then
That was his wife, Barbara Nixon,
Yeah.
by the way.
they
Sorry.
literally
Bitch.
came in Black Hawk helicopters and Hueys and started arresting and breaking this place up. And word got out then about how great a spot this was. So then you'd all this illegal grow operations. What would happen was they would college kids every year would go up there to become trimmers, and they just trim down the product.
Yeah, they're working in the production line.
And then the cartels came in. And it was when the cartels came in,
Fucked.
big American gangs seen cartels coming in and making money, and they kind of took it over.
Yeah.
And it became this massive weird operation. And then they legalized all the marijuana growing in California.
Yeah.
And they had to pay taxes on it, which drove a huge black market into it. And it's this massive clusterfuck now where people keep going missing because they have this idea that they're going up to Hippieville, trim a bit of weed and get paid. and they're going in and they're basically
And that's the war on
living in
drugs.
narcos land.
Well, you remember the Force guy, the original guy who went up there,
looking for his son.
No. The guy who planted the first marijuana seeds up
Yes,
there.
yes, yes.
So he's still alive. He was then telling the bills because they made it legal. He said, "Okay, I had to pay 80,000 a year for this, 10,000 a year for this, blah 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 blah." He said, "They put me out of business." He said, "Since they legalized it, he said it was the worst thing that ever happened to the weed market."
Their margin got fucking trimmed down by taxes and licenses.
Oh yeah, but they didn't just tax them; they overtaxed them
and over-regulated it.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you look at how, people who were arrested for weed for possession or whatever else were then forbidden from being involved in that industry once it was regulated. Completely isolated.
Was Joe Biden brought in that act? Was it in 1990 he brought it in?
Yes,
he was a senator.
No, yes, you're right. It was Joe Biden.
And it basically lengthened custodial sentences for possession charges.
No, but when it became legal and regulated, everyone with a possession charge, a non-violent possession charge
on a federal level was banned from participating.
They
in the
should
enterprise.
all have had their records expunged. It's like when homosexuality became legal, right? Anyone who was arrested for it was freed
and got a pardon as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the same thing should have happened.
Did that happen?
Yeah, because it wasn't illegal anymore.
In Ireland?
But no, it's I don't think there was anyone in jail at that stage.
Was there everybody? I don't know.
1993 was when.
When was the last time somebody actually was arrested for engaging in sexual activity with a man or
I'd have to look that up straight up.
Because I have no idea. Richie's on it.
I'm gonna get on it.
Richie's on it.
In Ireland now, yeah?
In Ireland, yeah. Because I've no idea the laws surrounding that or when people.
It was 93 when it was repealed.
93.
Homosexuality was illegal until 1993.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. You see, it's not that long
but
ago.
Isn't buggery still against the law?
Well, of course, because buggery is non-consent.
But no, isn't buggery to do with anal?
Buggery is bum rape.
Yeah.
It's rape.
But, no, it's not rape. But isn't it the same?
rape.
But if you have sex with your wife, like if you have anal sex with your wife, is that not considered buggery?
No. It's buggery when a man
Yeah.
forcibly inserts his penis in another man's bumhole.
And if it's your wife, surely there's consent behind that.
Yeah, but is that what the word buggery means?
Yes.
Are you sure that's
Yes.
the dictionary definition? Because I heard the solicitor on one night on Niall Boylan's show talking about this.
See, it used to be when homosexuality was illegal that every homosexual act was considered buggery because it was illegal. However, now that love is accepted, that buggery is more devolved into it's still kept with the illegal act of rape and anal sex.
So is it even in the law? Buggery, the word buggery, is that still there?
I honestly think it's been replaced by rape.
I think it's been replaced, yeah.
But I'm not an expert, and sometimes these old laws stand, so I'd have to check with council.
Prior to 1993, certain laws dating from the 19th century rendered male homosexual acts illegal. The relevant legislation was the 1861 Offences Against the Person Act and the 1885 Criminal Law Amendment Act, both enacted by the Parliament in the United Kingdom before Irish independence, and having been repealed in England and Wales in 1967, Scotland in 1980, Northern Ireland in 1982. In 1983, David Norris took a case to the Supreme Court seeking to challenge the constitutionality of these laws, but was unsuccessful.
Really?
Yeah, it was a 3-2 majority against, and it was 88 took it to the European Court of Human Rights, Norris versus Ireland. 92 to 94, yeah. 93 it came out.
So who was the first country to reverse it and legalise?
Hold on, I'm doing Meg's job for her.
Because
I'm chilling.
I always knew that. See, the word buggery, I heard that word when I was much younger.
Yeah.
And it's not a word that's used anymore.
No. Denmark, 1st of October in 1971, was it?
I thought it would have been France, because France were so liberal.
Yeah, but you have to remember that fucking society, Western society, has always hated the gays.
Yeah. We say rest of not Roman society though, or Greek.
Well, Greek more so, but it's because
modern society.
It's because it stems from the Romans, from the Romans, from the church.
But didn't the Romans? I may be wrong here, but didn't the Romans show their wealth by the number of boys that they had?
Yeah,
wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, but
and they were having sex with these kids.
Yeah, but then you went through all the dark ages and everything. It changed. like society collapsed and the more Puritan one came in.
Well, I'm expecting the society collapse
Pretty soon, baby.
Pretty soon, because as you said, that guy that you were listening to on Joe Rogan, the sign of the society collapsing is when we start to talk about gender the way we have been.
When we start to take non-issues and non-problems and make them our biggest issue and biggest problem.
What he's saying is, in the background, the man behind the curtain is doing much more nefarious things.
Yes.
Well, yeah, like, you mean,
it's a distraction. Like,
Yeah.
to get us all squabbling about individual things against each other while they go on. And, like, they're bringing this great reset is going to end in famines worldwide.
Oh, and I have a personal note that I'd like to say. I think it's the Independent. I hope I'm right. I was in Centra getting a cup of coffee today, and there was a photograph of a bunch of guys, young guys, like 17, 18, at a party, a house party.
Oh.
And the title was, it said, Corona Animals.
Yeah.
Pandemic. Huge words.
That was a red top anyway.
Now, first of all, you know, when I was 17, 18 years of age, I didn't give a shit about the rest of the world. All I ever did was drink you know, smoke, and it's normal, perfectly normal, acceptable behaviour.
That's why you've diminished responsibility.
And they have this guy's face all over the front of the newspaper. They're not blurred, saying that he is an animal.
Yeah.
I've issue with that.
Yeah, because they're dehumanising him.
They are dehumanising him.
Yeah.
And
Did any of you ever watch the fucking TV show Press?
No, man.
No.
What's it about?
Oh, it's really good. It's about two papers in London, like. But in it, one of the fucking, like, the tabloid, it's like basically a tabloid versus a broadsheet. And in the tabloid, they make an article about a 17-year-old who's out starting fights and all this kind of crack, and they call him a monster, and he ends up killing himself.
Fuck.
And it's about the responsibility, like, there ends up in this big discussion about the responsibility of the press into, like, avoid chasing a story for sales.
Well, if you look at this year gone by, the press are the driving force behind this virus being.
Oh,
this whole
absolutely.
It is the press.
But,
It is
like,
all the press.
I know there's a mate of mine who lives in Bulgaria. She's studying medicine over there, and they've lost 4 professors
To COVID,
to COVID. There was a case of where
I'm not denying COVID's a real thing.
Yeah,
right?
no.
I'm just saying our fear is being exacerbated by the media.
It's being exploited.
There was there was a case where an ambulance dropped off 2 patients at the steps of the hospital, because, you know, they had to get on with their own job and whatever else, and the 2 patients died in the steps.
Yeah.
Now apparently, like, people lost their
Where
jobs.
was this?
In Bulgaria, in Plovdiv.
Okay.
Yeah, well, see, when you're an emergency medical responder and you take someone into an ambulance, it's your responsibility to drop them in the hands of a doctor.
Oh, I know.
And you can't leave until they've been administered.
I know. I'm just talking about how stretched their resources are. Like, that country cannot afford to do full lockdowns. Like, it was getting near the point of social unrest over there, they were saying. And they basically went, look, fuck it, people have to go make a life for themselves. You know, it's up to yourself to protect yourself from here on in. Like.
But, like, that's putting the responsibility on the individual, and I'm all for that. But the problem I have here is people are scared senseless.
Yeah.
The fear needs to be removed, especially with this vaccine. The amount of anti-vax bullshit that's coming out. It's an
The
mRNA.
Ryanair ad for that, man.
The Ryanair ad is sick, right?
Get the jab, go on the flight.
Yeah, fuck that, because the jab is going to do nothing. All it is, it's an mRNA vaccine. It shows your immune system. Look out for this guy.
Yeah.
Right? If he comes, make these lymphocytes, attach them to him. There's your antigens. You know, it's giving your body a heads up.
It's a beautiful vaccine.
It is. I have an issue with it when it comes to fertility, because any mRNA thing, you're not supposed to engage in reproductive acts for a certain window of time afterwards. And they should make that clear to people. This is new science. Don't be afraid, be educated. But they're not. It's everything's getting polarized.
It's not that new a science. Like, it's just more that this particular variant of it is quite new.
It is quite new.
Well, let me ask everybody a question here. With coronavirus, I can be skeptic at best of times, but I personally believe there's something going on here that we don't understand.
The Great Reset.
There's always going to be short in the market.
It's it's like a 9/11 conspiracy theories. Everybody has a conspiracy theory. But I deep down, and I think everybody also knows there's something else nefarious going on
There's
here.
something.
Yeah, like it's a pandemic.
There's something else that we cannot
Scandemic,
pinpoint.
in fact.
Anyway,
Can you not say that at least that you feel there's something not
if you're
right?
if you're able to pull strings, you're going to see any opportunity as an advantage.
Well, as you said earlier, listen to your gut.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
instincts, and the vast majority of our listen to our gut.
I think everybody.
I live in a way where I stop trying to fix the whole fucking world or work out what's going on. I just look at where I am, what I'm doing, what impact I have or what's impacting me, and I just try and make the simplest
One of the
decisions
best ways
well.
to live.
Yeah.
One of the best ways, because you'll actually have effect that way. Because you're not scattered. You're directed like a laser beam onto one thing at a time.
Coming from JJ, you
Hold
will-
on there, Megs.
All right.
The whole thing, I think, the penny dropped on everybody with this new lockdown that
With
we're
the
in
latest
right now.
lockdown, yes.
We're like, wait, everybody has the same. It didn't work the last 2 times. Why are you doing it now?
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to save resources. If
I understand the saving of resources, but you have to remember, any ICU, no matter where it is on the planet, will be ran at max capacity for efficiency reasons. There's no point in having ICU staff standing around doing nothing.
Exactly.
There's no point in making an ICU that won't be filled.
It's the best thing in the world to have is to have a spare bed or two in an ICU in case something happens. A car crash, for instance.
But they've had a year to buff up everything, and they haven't touched it.
Well, should they brought home a load of fucking people from abroad? Come back home, help us,
Oh, yeah.
help,
And then
help
they left
home.
pick berries
And they
for
weren't even
killings.
allowed to give fucking jobs.
Well,
and they
see-
gave up good jobs.
What I have a bit. The problem that I have with the whole
But that's a
Corona thing
That's
is
a political intervention upon a global crisis.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they're different.
They are different.
I think that this level of suspicion that we have surrounding governments in the world with Corona is misleading, because what we're doing is we're saying our politicians are hiding something, they're doing something. I
They
think
wouldn't
what's-
be spending so much money.
I
if-
think what they're doing is, and I said this to Richie before, every other country in the world is waiting to see what the next country does to let them take the lead to see the outcome of opening up the
quagmire.
country.
How come America hasn't gone for free healthcare yet? Like, I mean, like the rest of the world's worked pretty well with that.
Because there's too many people that
Making
have
too
lobbyist
much money.
groups, that have lobbyist groups that have influence on the way it's run. The democracy doesn't work
No.
up to scale in America.
Who's
No,
our Taoiseach
not
now?
at all.
What's his name?
Micheál Martin.
Micheál. So I think Micheál Martin's problem right now is he can't take the chance of saying, right,
He's not as good at PR as Leo.
let's open the country. Even if it was Leo Varadkar, he cannot take the chance. And I don't think none of us in this
by the way,
room.
I was really happy that when the pandemic started, we actually had someone medical training in charge, regardless of how much they practice. I thought that
Yeah,
was
but look at him
actually
turning.
handy.
He's turning now. He's going against government, what the government they're suggesting.
Well, he's still out to feather his own bed.
He's bandwagon politician. But if you were in the position of Micheál Martin, or I was, or Meg was, or Richard was, then I think we'd all be making the same decision he's making.
Yeah,
couldn't-
he picked a grey car.
You couldn't afford, you couldn't afford to say let's open the country up, because then all the debts, if they happen, are on your head.
Yeah.
No, but it's not even that. It's like a case of like, if they were able just to fucking sort out like a temporary issue where they kind of went, look lads, we're an island, can we just do a thing and do New Zealand on it? New Zealand has full football stadiums, has full concerts, has festivals, has normal life going on because they did it right. And it's a case of if you go into New Zealand or Australia and you don't abide by their fucking laws, you'll be deported and you'll be heavily monitored while in quarantine. And I think that's right.
And on that wonderful note, it is time to say goodnight to everybody. Is there any
Oh,
text
thank
there
God.
before we...
Just from JJ, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And I 100% agree. So
You will,
Yeah.
you will what?
you don't have to have anything to be happy. If you're
Absolutely.
truly happy
Yeah,
in
this is very
yourself,
true.
you're
Very
happy,
true.
yeah.
I would like to thank Ms. Megan Quinlan for coming
Thank
into the
you.
studio, Richard Quinlan, and our new co-host, Mr. Pierce Fox.
Yay!
I just hope after tonight that he stays, because
No, he'll come back, man, because he fucking bet you around the boxing ring.
Thank you very much.
Conversation.
Thank you very much. And because of the whole he thinks that I'm now homophobic, I'm going to bring him out to the toilet now and suggest a blowjob, just in case, just to
Only if you
prove I'm
swallow.
not.
Only if you swallow.
I would never waste it. Don't worry.
I'm not cleaning up my own mess.
And on that note, we will see you on Thursday.
Bye.